Tonight's regularly scheduled programming will not be seen, so we may bring you the following WMUR News 9 sports special, the Fisher Cats season opener.
They've been around just over a year, and already this ball club, the Fisher Cats, have made some serious noise. 2004 Eastern League champions.
We started catching fire and we started winning. It just seemed a lot easier, so it was a lot of fun.
We go down to the river.
And now, down by the river, the champs open a new 6,500-seat stadium on live TV, Fisher Cats Ballpark.
You know, I've never seen or played in a home field like this before, so it should be nice.
We are all excited for the opening day here in New Hampshire.
Tonight, it's a pair of cats going head-to-head, the New Britain Rock Cats, the New Hampshire Fisher Cats, and it's a day of firsts, opening day and a stadium opener.
It's a brand new season and a brand new stadium.
Watch it live right now on Channel 9.
Tonight, live from the new stadium in Manchester, their field of dreams comes alive for the first time. It's the Fisher Cats season opener against the Rock Cats.
Welcome to the Miracle on the Merrimack, the brand new Fisher Cats ballpark. 11 months after the groundbreaking is officially open for business tonight, and it's the New Britain Rock Cats playing our New Hampshire Fisher Cats here at the new stadium. Jason King and Jamie Staten, and here we go, finally, baseball in the new ballpark.
11 months to the day that they broke ground on this stadium, and I wouldn't believe it, but it's a great place, and it's a great night for baseball. A little cool, but we'll get it in.
A little bit, and we could have some rain a little bit later on, but right now we're going to get some baseball for sure, at least off the top. And let's pick up our coverage with where we left off with the Fisher Cats in 2004.
Yeah, the first time here in Manchester as the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. They came up from New Haven. You're looking at some video of the championship game from last year, the 2004 Eastern League champs. They're 1 year in Manchester, one title under their belt, so they're proud of that, and they're coming in here hoping to do the same this year.
Brandon League was the pitcher that closed it out with a strikeout of the Altoona Curve, and he is now on the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, let's fast forward to just a few weeks ago, and that was in Dunedin, Florida, when the New Hampshire Fisher Cats got their rings, and that's always the great part about winning a championship. At least one of them get a little hardware.
Yeah, not bad. And the rings that they, I saw Coach Mike Basso's, or manager Mike Basso's ring at the airport when they came in on Monday. It's nice hardware.
Very nice. And there is a ceremony going on behind us right now with the mayor and governor and things like that. And I believe the players are getting yet another gift for winning the championship. So it's the gift that keeps on giving. And as far as that league championship, Eastern League championship, the other member of our broadcast team, Naoko Funayama, has more on that. Naoko?
Hey guys, you know, the Fisher Cats actually won 24 of their last 30 games in the regular season to take the Northern Division title. And in the postseason, they swept the Altoona Curve in the Eastern League Finals. Also, Mike Basso was named Manager of the Year for the Eastern League, and we talked to him about what it meant to him and his team to have such a banner season.
Well, it just means that you were the best team last year. The kids played the best when it counted. They got themselves in position to win, and they won. And to see them with that trophy and then to receive the rings and it's just a wonderful situation. One of my best memories I've ever had in my 20 years of professional baseball.
At this time, I would like to introduce...
So the bar has been set, and it's been set really high. Jamie and Jason, back to you guys.
All right, Naoko, look forward to hearing from you throughout the game as you interview fans. Now, let's get rolling with these starting pitchers, and for the Fisher Cats, a real workhorse, Florida State League Pitcher of the Year last year.
Yeah, it's Ishmael Ramirez. He's out in right field right now, running around, warming himself up. And a 24-year-old right-hander. He throws pretty hard for the Fisher Cats. It's his first year up here in Manchester, although he's been with Toronto since 1998. He was signed as an unrestricted free agent back in 1998. He's been with the Toronto organization ever since. It'll be fun to see what he has to lead the team this year.
Also like to take the opportunity.
And we heard from him and Mike Basso about what they thought they might get out of their starting pitcher tonight.
Throw strike, throw a good pitch, working in my pitch, forward. Slider, change, yeah, that's it. I expect him to give us a good effort and see what happens. You know, he's pitched a little bit in spring training for us and you know, had a great year last year, so we're excited to see what he can do.
And now the New Britain Rock Cats pitcher, they go with a left-hander, I believe, tonight, Francisco Liriano.
Yeah, a hard-throwing left-hander, so they say, a southpaw, Liriano. He pitched against the Fisher Cats last year back on August 22nd, and he beat the Fisher Cats 4-3. He'll be making his first start here in this season, of course, opening up the 2005 season for New Britain. And the Rock Cats are pretty heavy on this guy, so obviously throwing him on opening night.
And a good night for the pitchers. It's cold and it's a little bit windy. It's going to be tough to hit tonight. We'll find out how the hitters can do in this brand new ballpark down by the river, the Fisher Cats ballpark. First pitch coming up when we return. And welcome back to Fisher Cats Ballpark. We are just moments away from first our national anthem and then our starting pitchers. We just missed Jeremy Yatsis there and Jason Taylor with the first pitch. They were the winners of a Fisher Cats first pitch contest at Channel 9. Each of them had to write a 50-word essay on why they're the Fisher Cats' biggest fan. And then they had the pleasure of throwing out the first pitch and catching the first pitch. And again, it was Jeremy Yatsis, who is 10 years old from Manchester, and he got to throw out the first pitch, and his catcher was Jason Taylor, who's 8 years old from Concord, New Hampshire. And there's Jason Taylor right there. Looks like pretty good form right there, Jason, huh? Nice scoop.
Bad. He needs some of those pads in the back of his, what are those called? Knee guards?
The knee guards, yeah. So just to set the stage, it's Jason King and Jamie Staten, and our Naoko Funayama is roaming around the crowds with a wireless microphone, and we're just awaiting the first pitch at the new Fisher Cats ballpark. And so far, Jason King, the rain is held off.
Yeah, that's what they say. It should hold off enough to get the game in anyways. Take a look down at the bullpen as our starting pitcher for the New Hampshire Fisher Cats warms up. You know, it's dropped, what, maybe 9 degrees, I guess, in the last hour. So it's going to get cool.
It has been dropping. We'll have our starting lineups for you momentarily, but you'll see a lot of familiar faces coming back for the New Hampshire Fisher Cats, like their third baseman, Rob Cosby, and Mike Hova is back, and a lot of the pitchers are back as well. So I think we said there were 13 returning players from last year's championship team.
13 returning players, including a great pitcher from last year, Cam Reimers. Ishmael Ramirez, the starting pitcher that you're looking at right now for the Fisher Cats. He's new to the team this year, as we mentioned in the open to the show. He has been with the Toronto organization since 1998, but his first stint here in Double-A New Hampshire, which is kind of odd to say, huh? Double-A New Hampshire.
Double-A in New Hampshire, and it's Jose Umbria who was his catcher there, number 7. Not exactly sure what our holdup is right now at Fisher Cats Ballpark, but you know what? It's the first game. We're working out the kinks. The Fisher Cats are working out the kinks here, getting things down. I think the pitchers might just need a little bit more warm-up time.
Well, I think we're, awaiting the national anthem before we can get the first pitch. First pitch for tonight's ball game scheduled for 7:10. We're coming up on that right about now.
This is a $20 million ballpark, and the Fisher Cats will pay it off over a 20-year lease. Basically, the city of Manchester is acting as a bank. They did the bond, the loan to the Fisher Cats, and the Fisher Cats will pay it off in annual installments of $930,000. But the ballpark itself was supposed to be $19 million. It went over by $900,000, so you got about a $20 million ballpark here. And then the owner of the Fisher Cats, Drew Weber, put $1.7 million into it of his own money, and that included that scoreboard you're looking at. That was a $550,000 purchase by the New Hampshire Fisher Cats and Drew Weber, $550,000, but it has been worth it because that scoreboard and the video screen, 16 feet by 24 feet, is beautiful.
Yeah, it's it's really a nice place. You might be able to see on your screen sometimes throughout the night some areas that don't quite look finished, like there in the left field, over the left field wall. That's where the hotel will be located. They've already started construction on that. Behind the ballpark, there are condominiums, and there's also a children's playground directly behind the ballpark that has not been started yet. Some things that, some of the peripheral things for the stadium that didn't need priority to get this season underway are going to wait in the wings for a little while. They'll get working on those now that the season has started. But they really did a nice job getting this place up and running for tonight's game. As we mentioned before, 11 months to the day that they broke ground on this ballpark. You're looking at some of the work in progress.
And you see the hotel right there. That is going to be a Hilton Garden Inn when it's all said and done, about 6 floors, and it'll come right up to the left field wall. A really beautiful shot there as you see a look over the wall and into the ballpark from the outfield. So let's do our starting lineups for you tonight and try to start to familiarize ourselves with this baseball team. It's Jose Umbria who is the catcher. Vito Chermavolati is at first base. The second baseman is Carla Cota. Brad Hasse will bat ninth and wear number 9 and play shortstop in the game, and Robert Cosby is at third base. And then in the outfield, left to right, Ron Acuna, the speedster Miguel Negro, and Michael Hova will be in right field.
Take a look at starting lineups for the opposing New Britain Rock Cats. We have James Tomlin out there in center field, and he's flanked by Doug Deeds and Alex Romero in right and left respectively. Your pitcher, of course, is Francisco Lariano. And then around the bags in the infield, we have Danny Matinenzo at first base. He was a late addition. The original first baseman was scratched prior to the game. Then at second base, it's Luis Maza. Over at third base, Tommy Watkins. And at shortstop, it is Gil Velasquez. So that's your New Britain Rock Cats for opening night of 2005.
Is that a beautiful picture right there from our center field camera with Chris McDevitt out there in the cold, windy weather out in center field? But isn't that beautiful? I mean, that is in New Hampshire. And the New Hampshire Fisher Cats have taken the field here at Fisher Cats Ballpark for the very first time. And Ishmael Ramirez, number 28, will take his warm-up tosses for the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. So the Fisher Cats will wear their white uniforms and be the home team, and the New Britain Rock Cats will be wearing their gray uniforms and are the visiting team. Second year in a row now that these two teams have played on opening day. Last year, first ever game in Fisher Cats history, they went down to New Britain and they beat New Britain in that game. Let's pause now for our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
All right, that's WOKQ Radio's Danielle Carrier. She's from their morning show, and she can really sing the national anthem. We've heard her over at the Verizon Arena a few times for the Monarchs. She sang it at Gill Stadium for the Fisher Cats last year, and now she leads off on opening day. They had their morning show out bright and early this morning, Jason, and I came on early this morning, and it was warmer than it is right now, actually, at 8 o'clock in the morning, so it's going down.
51 degrees at game time, assuming it doesn't drop another degree or two before the first pitch.
Color guard from Dover, New Hampshire. These indeed are the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. The stadium is in Manchester, but they market themselves to the entire state. And this is night one of 2 big nights in a row for WMUR TV in the sports department.
Yeah, baseball and then a little bit of football. We'll move indoors tomorrow night to bring you the season opener of the Manchester Wolves, the Arena Football 2 team here in Manchester. They're entering their second season here in the Queen City as well.
And tonight we're going to obviously bring you all the game action, but we also want you to get a flavor of the new ballpark. And so we're going to have some live guests in the booth. We expect Governor John Lynch to stop by. Manchester Mayor Bob Baines, the Fisher Cats General Manager Sean Smith should be stopping by. We also expect to visit with Kevin Gray of the Union Leader. And Naoko Funayama will be talking to fans out in the stands throughout the game as well.
Really beautiful ballpark. Just a few interesting facts about the new Fisher Cats ballpark. It's 6,500 person capacity, and if you want to come out and see a game, tickets range anywhere from $4 to $12. Then of course there are 32 luxury suites, and there's a great picnic area out beyond the left field fence. A couple of platforms you might see throughout tonight's ball game with picnic tables set up. Those will run you about $23
Picnic
to
tables?
get. Yeah, you see the picnic tables? Yeah. Why? What
You
did I
can buy
say?
a picnic table for $23?
You can't buy the table. You can buy
okay.
the seat
All right.
for $23 to get you a buffet and a soda, and it should be a great place to watch a game, especially in the summertime.
Well, I can't wait to see this guy throw the baseball, and he looks like he has some serious velocity. Ishmael Ramirez was in big league camp with the Toronto Blue Jays. You're looking at the Florida State Class A single pitcher of the year in the Florida State League last year. The Fisher Cats starting pitcher Ishmael Ramirez. He won 15 games in minor leagues. To win 15 games, that's amazing. And his ERA was under 3. And he logged nearly 200 minutes. I mean, this guy is a workhorse. He's 6'3" tall, so you know he's going to bring it a little bit. And I'm very anxious to see how he does against these Rock Cats. Said he has the fastball, slider, and the changeup. He didn't mention the curveball among his pitches when I asked him his arsenal. Rare that a minor leaguer would not have a curveball. I got to think he's got that in there.
I would think he has it, but I guess you never know.
So this is quite a new look to the Fisher Cats out in the field. Aaron Hill was the shortstop of the year in the Eastern League last year, and he's gone. And Justin Singleton, the all-star center fielder who could run anything down at Gill Stadium, he's gone up to Syracuse now. And Dominic Rich, the second baseman, who was so good, batted second most of the year in the lineup, he is no longer on the team either. They've lost a few of their speedy outfielders as well. So it's quite a new look to the Fisher Cats, but with some familiar faces like Robert Cosby at third base, and the catcher Jose Umbria was on the team last year, and right fielder Michael Hova also on the team last year. Kevin Barker, by the way, will be the designated hitter tonight for your New Hampshire Fisher Cats, and we are ready to go with James Tomlin, the center fielder for the Rock Cats, will lead off tonight. And we are about to get the first pitch in the history of the new Fisher Cats ballpark. This will be a trivia question for years to come, I'm sure, Jason.
Who threw the first pitch at the new Fisher Cats ballpark? And what pitch was it?
So here we go. We're ready to play some baseball. Fisher Cats against the Rock Cats. Ishmael Ramirez with the first pitch in this new baseball stadium. First pitch of the baseball season as well. And it is over the outside corner for a strike. A good start for the Fisher Cats to get the season rolling. And they throw the baseball out. That'll be something the Fisher Cats will keep in perpetuity, I'm sure, and put in their museum of baseball artifacts someday. A strike from from Ishmael Ramirez on the first pitch. And now we have a ground ball to third base. That's Crosby up and across the diamond. And Vito Cheravalati makes the out, and we are 1 up and 1 down so far in the baseball game.
Well, it's funny, the first ground ball goes to third base. We were noticing during warm-ups that for whatever reason down that third base line in the third base dirt, the ball was taking some serious hops. That one never really got out of the grass, but Crosby made a nice play on it. But it'll be interesting to see how that this brand new infield treats these guys tonight.
And now Luis Mazza, second baseman for the Rock Cats. First pitch swinging, sends one down the right field line. It's going to stay in fair territory, and look at the catch. A great job. Vito Cheravalati comes up with it for the Fisher Cats. 3 pitches and 2 outs so far for Ramirez.
Really a nice play by Cheravalati to turn and run over his shoulder down that first base line, and it's always tough when you run into that dirt. You never know how close that wall is.
So a 2-part trivia question. Who made the first 2 outs in Fisher Cats history, and how do you pronounce his last name? Vito Cheravalati. So we have 2 down already. So far, an easy go of it for Ishmael Ramirez. And he faces Gabby Torres now, who's the catcher tonight for the Rock Cats. We did see quite a few balls flying out of the ballpark in batting practice tonight.
Yeah, I think a lot of them came from New Britain, to be honest with you. A lot of them went out in left field. It's 326 down the left field line, and it's got that short porch with that picnic area. So you might see a lot of home runs coming your way if you buy a ticket at a picnic table this year.
Well, it's about, in right center field of the power alley, it's about 370, 380. And if you can believe it, a guy named Luis Jimenez in warm-ups put one over the scoreboard. It was probably about a 450-foot shot, but that's a strike called. The interesting thing is he's not in the lineup tonight.
Well, I believe he was the first baseman that was scratched before the game.
Maybe he injured himself on that home run
Possibly.
over the wall.
Originally slated to play first base, I believe.
Ground ball to shortstop. Originally booted, then across, and in time, making the recovery, Brad Hasse. So that does it for the top of the first inning. The first ever half inning in Fisher Cats baseball history is 1-2-3 for Ramirez. No score, and the Fisher Cats coming up for the first time.
Tomorrow, catch another season-opening game here on WMUR. The Manchester Wolves kick off their new season from the Verizon Wireless Arena at 7:30 as they go up against the Florida Firecats. The Wolves season opener tomorrow here on WMUR.
And Jamie Staten, Jason King, and now Kufunayama back at Fisher Cats Ballpark, and we are ready to go to the bottom of the first inning. As a capacity crowd, 6,500, a sellout in this first game, ready to watch number 36, Francisco Liriano, get the start for the New Britain Rockcats. Spent some time with New Britain last year. We'll see what he has, and he's going to face the speeder Miguel Negron. Center fielder for the Fisher Cats will lead off. Still looking for our first hit in the history of Fisher Cats Ballpark.
A lot of trivia questions coming up tonight, I think.
A night of firsts. So Miguel Negron steps in. Left-handed batter. Also throws left, so it's left all the way around. And he takes ball one. And that's in there for a strike. This is a quick worker here. It looks like Francisco Liriano gets the ball, rocks, and fires. It's a good sign for a quick game tonight. 1-1 count. Grounded in front of the plate, watching a ground run. He can fly, but a quick put out by the Rockcats. Brian Kennedy throws it on to Danny Matienzo, and there's one down.
Nice job by Kennedy to get out from behind the plate and call the pitcher off, take that ball himself, and get Negron down at first base.
Right over the top.
Dribbler right out in front of the plate. And it's tough for a catcher to get out there quick and get the ball down to first base. Not only that, but you have to deal with the base runner, who oftentimes is in the field of play when in fact they should be on the right side of the line.
And Carlo Cota steps into the box, second baseman for the Fisher Cats tonight. And he takes high and away ball one. Cota is from Calexico, California. Played for Dunedin last year, also played one game in Syracuse.
Selected by the Blue Jays in the 33rd round of the 2002 draft, and he signed on June 6th, 2002.
Oh, you know what? I got that wrong. It was Brad Hasse that I was looking at. So Cota is just spent all of last year with Dunedin. Hit 11 home runs, which is some good power out of the number 2 hitter in the line appearance. A 2-1 count to Carlo Cota.
Cota also a postseason All-Star in the Florida State League last year.
There's a strike, so we have a 2-2 count. Still no strikeouts in the history of Fisher Cat Ballpark, and Cota, I'm sure, doesn't want to be the first one. But Liriano really working quickly here. He gets the ball and fires. Hard shot to shortstop, but up with it and on to first base for the out for the Rockcats. Gil Velasquez makes the play. So there's 2 down.
The right fielder, number 10,
Michael Hova. Good to see him back this year. He was a fan favorite last year around at Gill Stadium. He really had a great year for the Fisher Cats, and they expect good things out of him this year as one of the veterans to the club.
So Hova trying to avoid a 1-2-3 inning here. Takes ball one low. Line shot to center field. That'll send center fielder back just a few steps, but able to haul it in was James Tomlin. So it's a quick 1-2-3 inning for the Fisher Cats as well. We've played one full here at Fisher Cats Ballpark. No score. Welcome back to the ballpark. A lot of zeros up on the Lovering Volvo scoreboard so far. No hits, no runs, no errors by either team, and two pitchers who apparently like to work quickly in the cold weather. Ishmael Ramirez back on the mound for the Fisher Cats after a 1-2-3 inning against the Rock Cats. We move to the top of the second inning.
And Danny Matinezzo coming up for the New Britain Rock Cats, the first baseman who stepped in at the last minute, I guess.
He'll be playing first instead of the big guy, Luis Jimenez. You look at his numbers last year, 305 average, so there's a reason he's batting cleanup here for the Rock Cats. He is some kind of professional hitter. We'll see how he does against Ramirez. First pitch swinging, it looked like it was a little bit high from Ramirez. Pitch count for Ishmael Ramirez will be about 80 pitches tonight, which is good this time of the year for a minor leaguer. You don't see the professionals going any more than really 80 pitches to get the season started. And if he can have a couple quick innings like he did in the first inning, he'll get the Fisher Cats deep into the game, hopefully. It's a 1-1 count on Matienzo. That's a slider on the outside corner.
Especially now, early in the season, the pitchers, nights like this where it's cold, it's about 50 degrees now at 7:30, and it's supposed to get a little bit damp. It'll be raw, so their pitch counts are usually pretty low at the beginning of the year.
And that's ball outside, 2-2 count. We were about 10 to 15 minutes late in starting this baseball game. This opening ceremonies went a little bit long. Appeared to be a delay with the color guard of some sort, perhaps with the flag unfurling, but we're in action now in the second inning. Did he go? You better believe it. First strikeout in Fisher Cats ballpark history, and Ishmael Ramirez is the pitcher. Danny Matienzo is the guy that struck out. That'll be officially swinging. It looked like the ball was out of the strike zone.
Nice pitch by Ramirez. He had 2 strikes on him, went with the high heat up top, try to get him going, and he got him swinging.
So 1 out here in the top of the second inning, and now it's Doug Deeds at the plate, left-handed batter against Ramirez. He ropes one high and deep and foul. Looks like that'll head out into the parking lot. He got all of that one, but was very early on that pitch. Well, we're very happy to be joined in our broadcast booth now by the governor of the state of New Hampshire, Mr. John Lynch. John, congratulations on the new ballpark here. It's nice to see you.
Fabulous. What a wonderful stadium. It is just absolutely spectacular. It's great for Manchester and great for New Hampshire.
How was the opening ceremonies down there? It looked like it was a lot of fun with a lot of great people who were very excited.
A lot of people have worked very, very hard to get us to this point where we're opening day. People have been working day and night, going back for over a year now to get us ready. And they've done a great job.
0-2 count to Deeds, who was out ahead of that pitch. So far, both pitchers working pretty quickly in the cold weather. I'm not sure I blame them.
You know, it's tough to play in this cold weather. You know, the temperature now is 50 degrees, so it's tough to pitch and tough to hit.
You must be very pleased to see this here. It's such a huge undertaking to build things of this nature these days. You know, you have to jump so many hoops and get the financing and have people interested in spending the money and and there's a sewer line in the way. It just seems like there's always things that come up, yet Sean Smith and the Fisher Cats persevered, and this is the reward.
They really did, and there are all kinds of almost insurmountable constraints in terms of really putting together a ballpark like they were able to do, and they've obviously done a great job.
On the 2-2 pitch, that's no problem for Fisher Cats first baseman Vito Chiaravolati. So Doug Deeds is retired 1 unassisted, and we have 2 outs now in the top of the second inning. So within 4 or 5 years of each other, New Hampshire gets the Verizon Wireless Arena, which is over the center field wall, very close, and now we get a new ballpark. It's just the landscape of sports in Manchester and New Hampshire has changed drastically.
Oh, it sure
in the last few years.
And I see you keeping the scorebook.
Well, yeah, I have Alex Romero up now. Yeah, I bought this at Indian Head Sports this morning, and all excited to try to do it. It's been a little while since I've done a scorebook, but we're doing all right.
Well, I used to go to the Red Sox games back in the early 60s, and back then we'd all bring scorebooks, and each of us would track the score as the game was progressing.
1 ball and 1 strike to Romero. Earlier, it looked like it might rain. It just had that feeling like it's going to rain. I don't get that same feeling anymore. It seems to be settling into a pretty nice night, and it's holding off.
I think that's correct. Everybody's having a great time. The ballpark is packed.
Alex Romero, the batter, fouls one off and to the left side, and that might have ended up in the river. Foul balls that are impressive in this ballpark could end up in the river.
They sure could.
You do see some clouds off in the distance, but I think we're going to do all right. It's a 2-2 count to Romero, the left fielder for the New Britain Rockcats. We're in the top of the second inning with no score. We still haven't had our first hit in the history of Fisher Cats Ballpark. We're getting all these firsts. You know, the first pitch was a strike.
Right, yes.
We had the first strikeout, and Ishmael Ramirez, the Fisher Cats pitcher, provided that with a great pitch, but we haven't had a hit yet. Who's going to get that first hit?
You know, the players, I was talking to some of the players earlier, they're so excited about this ballpark. And the quality of the ballpark means a lot to the team.
I think that one was definitely out in the Merrimack River.
I think so, too.
I don't think we're going to see Barry Bonds type action like they do in San Francisco out in the bay with the canoes and the kayaks trying to find the balls,
well,
but you never know.
We'll see. You never know. You never know which talent will emerge in terms of fan favorites.
Full count, 2 strikes, 3 balls, and it is ball 4. They wanted to check it down the line. Jose Umbrea checking with the umpire, but we have our first base runner now in Fisher Cats Ballpark history, and that is Alex Romero, who gets on via the walk.
So that's another first here
another
Fisher
first.
Cats game.
Finally a walk. We're certainly not encouraging people to get into the Merrimack River right now because it's raging after the recent rains. Let's
That's
just
right.
be clear
this
about
is
that.
not a good time to do that.
We're talking live with Governor John Lynch. There's a football game, a season opener for the Wolves tomorrow. I guess you're going to make it over to that as well.
Yes, I plan to do that.
But I know that you're a sports fan, and that's a good thing because you seem to be going to a lot of premieres and openings and openers.
Well, I followed the Red Sox, as I said, going back to the early 60s. And growing up as a kid, I actually used to go into the Red Sox games with Carl Yastrzemski. So that was a big thrill for me.
Hammered to center field, but Negron is right on it, and that is 3 outs for the Fisher Cats. Brian Kennedy, the catcher, really got into that one, but it hit it right to Negron, and that's it for the Rockcats in the top of the second. Can you stay with us for another half inning?
Sure.
Great. We'll be back with Governor John Lynch right after this. We'll go to the bottom of the second.
Tomorrow, catch another season-opening game here on WMUR. The Manchester Wolves kick off their new season from the Verizon Wireless Arena at 7:30 as they go up against the Florida Firecats. The Wolves season opener tomorrow here on WMUR.
And welcome back to Fisher Cats Ballpark. You got a quick glimpse of Naoko Funai over there. We'll check in with her in a few minutes. Want to give you a quick Fisher Cats fact. We've been talking about some of the firsts. Well, Adam Peterson was the first Fisher Cats to reach the majors. The pitcher got the call to Toronto on June 22nd, 2004. I do remember a story. We've had several occasions to talk, Governor, in the past, and how you lived close to the great number 8 for the Boston Red Sox and used to get a ride to the ballpark with him.
Right, that was back in 1966 and 67. Carl Yastrzemski used to pick us up and take us into the Red Sox games on a regular basis, and it was a great thrill for me as a young kid to ride into those games with Yastrzemski.
Leadoff hitter is Kevin Barker, grounds it right back to the pitcher, and that's a quick put out for Francisco Liriano of the Rockcats. So you're growing up in Linfield, Mass, and you're riding to the Red Sox games with Carl Yastrzemski. You can't do much better than that.
Well, it was a great experience, and he used to park right in the players' parking lot, and then after the game, we would stay in the players' parking lot and get to meet all of the other Red Sox players as they were coming out to get in their cars and drive home.
Did you have a favorite? Was Yaz the favorite as Ron Acuna steps into the batter's box?
Yeah, Yastrzemski, clearly was our favorite, in part because we got to know him pretty well during those years. And of course, 1967 was the year of the impossible dream.
And the Triple Crown for Yaz.
And the Triple
Crown. Good year
to
you were his good luck charm.
Maybe I don't know about that.
It's a 1-0 count here. 2-0 count, excuse me. 2 balls to Ron Acuna, who faces Francisco Liriano, the New Britain Rockcats pitcher, and that is ball 3. So Acuna likely to get the take sign from Mike Basso, the Fisher Cats manager down there at third base. And he does, and that is ball 4, and we have a Fisher Cats base runner, Ron Acuna. Did you play Little League in Linfield?
Yeah, I played Little League and Pony League, Babe Ruth, all those different leagues growing up. Yep, love baseball.
You'd have
and
to
I
say,
still enjoy baseball.
You'd have to say you have a hockey family now, though, don't you?
Well, with Hayden playing hockey, and then we follow, of course, UNH hockey, and followed that over the years.
The Frozen Four was today. We know that Denver beat Colorado College 6-2. The night game is North Dakota against Minnesota. All Western Collegiate teams out there in the Frozen Four. Not sure how that happened, Governor.
Well, UNH did a great job during the season. They did much better than anybody expected them. And we're all very proud of Dick Umili and the team and look forward to another great season next year.
Rob Cosby steps in, Fisher Cats third baseman, with a runner on first base, Rob Acuna. And he grounds one foul. Any idea what could be next for New Hampshire? Or are we going to take a breather here for a little while? We got the new stadium, we got the Wolves football team, we have the Monarchs doing well, and now, the new baseball team. Have you heard any rumors?
It's just a great time to be in New Hampshire with all the different exciting initiatives taking place. And of course, this ballpark and to see this team playing is the culmination of so many people's efforts over the year.
0-2 pitch, and that is strike 3. Kind of a mediocre swing by Cosby. Wasn't sure of that one, and there's 2 outs in the inning now. And Brian Kennedy will go out and talk to his pitcher, Francisco Liriano, as Jose Umbria, the Fisher Cats catcher, strides to the plate with 2 outs here in the second inning. We're talking live with Governor John Lynch. And I know that Tim Beckert, the general manager over at the Verizon Arena, is now bidding on the NCAA hockey tournament regional every single year. So we're going to get some of these great events on an annual basis.
And the fans turn out for them, as you know. I mean, the fans really come out, they pack the place.
Throw over to first base just to check on Ron Acuna, who walked and is still on first base with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Umbria takes strike 1. One of 3 catchers on the Fisher Cats roster right now, and he gets the start out of Venezuela. We have a Venezuela battery here. The pitcher for the Fisher Cats is from Venezuela, and so is the catcher. And that one is ball high, 1-1. Perfect night, too, with the Red Sox off, so all eyes here on Fisher Cats ballpark.
Right. Looks like it's quite a clout to get a home run out of this park.
The balls were flying out in and we have a runner picked off first base. Can he get down? And he is on a throwing error on the first place. Acuna all the way to third base. And Mike Basso had told him to get down. The ball was bobbled in left field by Alex Romero. I think it's good that he didn't go, though. Governor, you want to talk us through this replay? Take a shot at color commentary here. He was picked off, that's for sure.
Obviously, he was picked off, but he didn't hesitate. He didn't hesitate going into second, kept running, and then went right on to third. He obviously dove into third. Otherwise, he might have had a chance making it home.
And that's what they teach you to do, is if you get picked off, take off running for second. He actually gets a stolen base on that, and then an error on the first baseman, I believe. That would be how I would score it. I don't know about you. There was an errant throw down to second.
Right.
Well, we have a runner in scoring position now. Jose Umbria, 1-2 pitch, right side, and that'll be scooped up by Luis Maza. And that's the end of the inning as the Fisher Cats strand Ron Acuna at third base. Well, we appreciate you joining us, Governor, and we hope you'll come on with us from the Wolves game tomorrow.
Well, I hope so, too, and thanks for all you do. You do a great job.
Thanks, John.
Okay.
Governor,
thanks.
I should say.
Thanks,
we'll see you
Jamie.
tomorrow night. Governor John Lynch with us. We go to the top of the third inning. No score at Fisher Cats ballpark. And ready for the top of the third inning at Fisher Cats ballpark. Jason King and Jamie Staten. And What's the deal when the governor shows up? You lose your microphone, huh?
They take a back seat.
A little priority for the governor. I'll return the favor a little bit later for sure. You know what? I scored that correctly. Stolen base and then a throwing error on the first baseman on that play where Acuna ended up at third base. After the first pitch here, we'll check in with Naoko Funayama, who has a wireless mic and is roaming out through the crowd, and see what she is up to. But we're ready for the top of the third inning as Tommy Watkins steps in, the third baseman for the New Britain Rockcats. Ramirez rocks, fires, and it is strike one. Let's join Naoko now. Naoko?
Hey guys, we got a lot of fans here today. Here is Craig Levine of Manchester. You guys have some great seats out here.
Yeah, they're awesome seats. Can't go wrong with these at all.
How'd you score these?
I camped out overnight last year for Gill Stadium to get a low priority number for these seats.
Wow, and tell us who you brought with you today.
I got my daughter Cassidy, my other twin daughter Cooper, and my wife Cindy.
And so far, what do you think of this new stadium?
It's awesome. It's awesome. Can't get any better than this. This is great.
And the action here is awesome too. Jamie and Jason, let's take it back up to you guys.
Well, Naoko, it's not so awesome for the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. You're looking at Tommy Watkins, who just ripped one down the left field line. We have our first hit in Fisher Cats history, Jason, and we have our first home run in the history of this ballpark.
Yeah, Watkins really let that one fly. And, you know, we mentioned a little while ago that I think there'll be a lot of home runs hit over that left field wall this year. And that one, I couldn't tell in the dark sky if it just barely stayed fair, but it looked like it was questionable. He just turned on that one, took it high and deep to left, and no doubt about that.
Gil Velasquez, shortstop, steps in for the Rockcats. So it's 1-0 New Britain on a monster shot by Tommy Watkins. That was into the picnic area and maybe even over it. That was a long shot into the night, and I don't think Ramirez, needless to say, threw that ball where he wanted to. That was belt high on the inside corner. He's back 0-2 on Gil Velasquez now, 2 strikes. So we finally get to Naoko in the third inning. And second pitch while she is doing a report, and it's a home run.
Well, when
for
the Fisher
opponents.
Cats get up next inning, we'll go to Naoko.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
It's only fair play, right?
Yeah.
Velasquez is up, and it's a 1-2 count, 1 ball, 2 strikes to the shortstop of the Rockcats. Tommy Watkins leading the Eastern League in home runs with 1. Ishmael Ramirez. And he comes right back with a strikeout looking on Gil Velasquez for the first out here of the third inning. And we go back to the top of the order, and that'll bring up James Tomlin for the Rockcats. And his first time up, he grounded out to third base.
Nice pitch by Ramirez. Got the number 9 hitter looking on the outside corner for a called third strike.
James Tomlin, number 1. Last year's numbers, 1 homer, 34 RBIs. Again, first time up, grounded out to third base. Shows a bunt, pulls back, and takes ball 1. Ramirez rocks and fires, and second pitch is in there for a strike. Love how these young pitchers get the ball, get the sign, and throw. Look at this. He doesn't even take 5 seconds between pitches once he gets the ball. He is working in a hurry. And he gets it on the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes against James Tomlin.
Gets the call from home plate umpire Jake Ullenhop. He's working behind the plate tonight, and he's been pretty consistent so far. You got Steve McMarlin on the first base side, and Tim Donald is your umpire on the third base line.
Where are those guys from?
I don't know.
I knew you didn't know.
I'm guessing the Eastern League.
I knew you didn't know, and that's why I asked. I didn't know either. James Tomlin with a check swing strike there. It's 1-2 count on center fielder of the Rockcats. Weak ground ball left side. I believe, looking back through our archives at WMUR TV, that this is the first live baseball game that we have broadcast since the Nashua Pirates in the mid-1980s. Do you remember? You grew up in Merrimack. You must have gone to a Nashua Pirates game at some point.
I do remember the Nashua Pirates, yeah. I don't recall any broadcasts on WMUR TV back in back in those days.
Just misses on the outside corner. It's a 2-2 strike. I don't remember seeing it either. I saw we have some videotape of that game back at the station. But I did go to some Nashua Pirates games, and I went to some Nashua Angels.
I think I went to one Pirates game.
Weak hit, and that is over the head of the Fisher Cats second baseman Carlo Cota. And so Tomlin is on first base with a single. Now we're talking about the leadoff hitter for the Rock Cats, so he's going to have some speed here. And we'll see if he tries to take off and test the arm of Jose Umbrea, the Fisher Cats catcher. So the Rock Cats already with a run in the inning, and now they have a man on first base with one out. Top of the third inning here in Manchester. And that's ball one to Luis Mazza, second baseman for the Rock Cats, steps in.
Sheriff Velati holding Tomlin on over there at first base. He's got a pretty good sized lead.
Ramirez, pretty quick delivery to the plate. Just a little quick sidestep. That one fouled out of play. Back into the employee parking lot along first base. We have a 1-1 count. I'd like to see Tomlin take off here and see what he has. He looks like he's itching to go. Those guys that are fast pull the socks up very high. It's how you can tell because it makes them look faster too. And the umpire calls timeout as Mazza stepped out of the box. Flag's not blowing that hard in left field, so it's not all that windy, but they are blowing out towards left field. Check swing by Mazza. Going over to the crowd, but unable to make a play was Cheravalati. And it's a 1-2 count on Luis Mazza.
Tomlin gave it a good bluff that time, as if he was stealing, took a couple of steps. I wouldn't be surprised to see him. He got 1 ball and 2 strikes. I wouldn't be surprised to see him try to take off.
This is a good count to for the Fisher Cats to pitch out, though. It's a tough count to run on. 1-2 counts in the favor of the Fisher Cats, no doubt. And he is staying, and another check swing or swing and a foul ball by Mazza. You see how a good base runner and a fast one can really disrupt a baseball game, though. No doubt about it that Ishmael Ramirez is being very careful with James Tomlin over there at first base. Tomlin, good size lead. Here's the pitch, and he fakes going and doesn't go, and it's ripped down the left field line. A fair ball by Luis Mazza. We're going to see Tomlin run now as Acuna digs it out of the corner. No chance to get Tomlin. Throw to the plate, but he is safe. Then a throw to the third, and it's a triple for Luis Mazza as they are getting to Ishmael Ramirez here in the third inning. An RBI triple for Luis Mazza scores James Tomlin all the way from first base, and he was not stealing on that play.
And Mazza just turned on that one, ripped it right past the third baseman down the line. It had that tail on it that took it over near the tarp, and it held it up. That actually probably enabled Mazza to get into third base, that and the throw home. But it held it up in front of that tarp, and the left fielder had to chase after it instead of allowing the ball to come to him.
That's a brand new tarp that the Fisher Cats have. They didn't need one last year at Gill Stadium because it was field turf. So they ordered a new tarp, came in from Canada, and already it's cost them a run.
Ron Acuna, though, showed off a pretty good arm from out there in left field. Took it on a one-hop to home plate.
Yeah, Gabby Torres at the plate now. First pitch swinging, and it's fouled off. Still one out here in the top of the third. 2 Rock Cats runs in on 3 hits as Ishmael Ramirez, the Fisher Cats starting pitcher, has run into some difficulty here. 0-1 count to Gabby Torres, the catcher for New Britain, and that one is high. Ball 1. Well, now with 1 out and a runner on third, Torres is just looking to make contact. The infield in for the Fisher Cats, looking for a ground ball and a play at the plate. You don't often see the infield in the third inning this early in a game, but in a cold weather game, facing the ace of the Rock Cats. Runs are at a premium here for the Fisher Cats, and they're going to try to save a run here. So interesting baseball with one out and a runner on third and the infield in. Designated hitter Gabby Torres at the plate. 2-1 pitch. And that is low and away. 3-1. Ramirez being very careful with the designated hitter from New Britain. Three-one pitch, and that'll get a run in, roped to left field, and it is caught. But here comes Mazza tagging, and he is safe. Acuna again with that good arm out there, made it a little closer than maybe you might have expected. But Mazza driven in on a sacrifice fly by Gabby Torres. 2 outs, 3-0 Rock Cats.
And that's exactly what you want if you're the hitter in the box with a runner on third base and less than 2 outs. You just want to put the ball in play. If you put it in the air, put it deep enough to get the runner home. And even with that good arm of Acuna out there in left field, it was plenty deep enough to get the run home.
So the cleanup hitter for the Rock Cats up, Danny Matienzo again. First pitch swinging, and he fouls it away. Strike one. We're in the top of the third inning, and the Rock Cats have jumped out on the Fisher Cats 3-0, trying to return the favor from opening day a year ago when the Fisher Cats went down to New Britain and beat the Rock Cats. And that is ball away. 1-1 count. 76 miles per hour on that changeup from Ramirez.
Ramirez throwing a lot of pitches this inning.
Matienzo struck out his first time up. This one fouled straight back. And it's a 1-2 count. Still a capacity crowd enjoying this new ballpark as Danny Matienzo up for the Rock Cats, and he fouls one off left side out ahead of that pitch. Just 57 miles per hour.
Yeah, that was the changeup for sure. He just had to swat at that one and try to put it in play.
Good look in to see what Ramirez is looking at from our center field camera, and he picks up a strikeout to get out of the inning. But New Britain did some serious damage in this one. 3 hits, 2 runs, or rather 3 hits on 3 runs, and Tommy Watkins with a home run for the Rock Cats. 3-0 New Britain leads. And we're back. Good look at the concourse, which is wide open. There's nothing that separates the concourse from the stands here, so you can actually stand there and talk to some of your friends who might be sitting in different seats from where you're located, and it looks like it's pretty packed down there right now.
Yeah, you know, it reminds me a lot of Gillette Stadium, although it's not quite as big. It's got that
not
feel.
Quite.
That Gillette Stadium concourse is just wide open with nothing in between, and that just makes it nice for moving around, especially when you have a packed house like this.
And you see the suites up top. 32 suites at Fisher Cats Ballpark as Vito Chermavalati steps in, and he quickly is down 0-1. About 20 of the 32 suites are sold here for the season. The other ones are available to rent out on a nightly basis. And they are very nice. Brand new furniture, obviously. It's a 1-2 count out of Vito, the first baseman for the Fisher Cats. As we start the bottom of the third inning, they have some ground to make up, down 3-0. You saw 14 homers for Chermavalati last year. He's got some power, but not on this one as he takes a called third strike. It's a second strikeout of the game for Francisco Liriano.
Liriano's still throwing some smoke here in the third inning. He's really coming from that left side, especially against Chermavalati, a right-handed batter. Things just moving in there fast. It tails in on the batter.
Brad Hasse steps to the plate. Shortstop for the Fisher Cats. Gets his first at bat of the season and takes a called strike one. Still going through the lineup for the first time here, the Fisher Cats. The number 9 hitter, Brad Hasse, wearing uniform number 9, grounds to shortstop. Gil Velasquez boots it, And second error of the game on the Rockcats. So Hasse is aboard with one down.
The center fielder, number 25, Miguel Negron.
Take another look at it. You know, it's again, it could be maybe that new infield. It's doesn't seem to take any bad hops or anything. It just catches it on the heel of his glove, and he's not able to scoop it up with that top hand and lets it get away.
So that brings top of the order up Miguel Negron. First time up, he grounded out to the catcher, just kind of hit one right out in front of the plate that the catcher was able to nab and throw to first base. So it's 0-1 here on the leadoff hitter for the Fisher Cats, Negron. And he takes ball one. Fisher Cats had a runner advance to third base last inning, Ron Acuna, on a throwing error by the first baseman, but they were unable to bring him in, and they trail 3-0. They do have a runner on here with one out. Grounded to the right side. Second baseman will just make the play over at first. That was Luis Maza, and there are two down now. That does move the runner Brad Hasse over to second base and into scoring position for Carlo Cota. The second baseman of the Fisher Cats steps to the plate. First time up, he grounded out to the shortstop. Just after 8 o'clock here on WMUR TV, Jason King, Jamie Staten, Naoko Funayama, as the ball gets away from the catcher and over to third base goes Cota, or check that, Hasse. So for the second straight inning, a runner now on third base for the Fisher Cats.
And I think that one's probably going to go as a passed ball to catcher Brian Kennedy. It was a little bit low, but certainly a ball that was blockable, if nothing else.
So the defense is not helping out Francisco Liriano, the starting pitcher for the Rockcats at this point. We'll get the official word on that, and you are right, it was a pass ball. Bob Littman is our official scorer in the game, also the voice of the Fisher Cats on radio. Getting paid double duty tonight, I guess.
It's good to have him.
That ball inside to Cota. 1 ball, 2 strikes. They're going to try to get Hasse in from third base here, score the first run in Fisher Cats history, and more importantly, get them into the score column here and try to get them back in this game. They trail 3-0. The 1-2 on the way, and that is strike 3. A nasty 84-mile-an-hour pitch from Francisco Liriano. Cota strikes out, and that is the end of the third inning with the score 3-0, New Britain over the Fisher Cats. And we go to the top of the fourth inning, 3-0 New Britain. Let's join Naoko Funayama. Naoko.
Hey, you know, guys, it's a lot warmer when you're sitting in the stands around all these people. Otherwise, it's kind of cold. I don't know if you can see us over here, but I've got with me a fan from Pembroke. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, Bob Neville from Pembroke.
And what is your name?
Sean.
Sean, are you having a good time here today?
Yes.
Yeah? What do you think of the new stadium?
Oh, it's awesome. It really is. We went to the opening day last year at Gill Stadium, and it was really nice, but this is really something. This is great for the city of Manchester.
I see that you guys have some goodies here. Are these from last season, or?
It was last season, right?
So you guys are big Fisher Cats fans then?
So far, yes, we really are. It's good entertainment, good baseball, and we really enjoy it.
All right, enjoy the game. Jamie and Jason, back up to you guys.
All right, Naoko, thank you very much. We move to the fourth inning, and here to do play-by-play for innings 4 through 6 is Jason King, and he's got a special guest. Take it away, Jason.
Kevin Gray from the Union Leader joins us now to talk a little Fisher Cats baseball as the New Britain Rockcats enter the top of the fourth inning. Kevin, thanks for coming by.
Hey, thanks, guys. Real happy to be here. And how's your historic broadcast going so far?
A lot of history being made tonight. We're talking about a lot of firsts. Still waiting for that first Fisher Cats run, though, as Doug Deeds drives one up the middle for yet another Rockcats hit. So there are no outs here in the top of the fourth. So what do you think so far?
Boy, I tell you, it's quite a special place. You know, being from New Hampshire, as you are yourself, to be here, to be part of this, to know that our families and future generations can enjoy this. It's a real special night, and a lot of emotional people here tonight. I mean, the Webbers and the mayor and the team president, Sean Smith. It's been quite a project.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's unbelievable that that the stadium was just started less than a year ago, and now it's at this point where you can actually play a game on it. The grass is nice and green. As Alex Romero, the left fielder for the Rockcats, steps into the box, he takes ball 1, so 1-0 is the count. He walked his last time up in the second inning.
Just coming over here the last few days, it's just been quite interesting to see the construction crew, and I've talked to some guys from Payton Construction, and boy, they were really working some long shifts the last few days, and you had to wonder almost a week ago if they'd be able to pull it off.
And Romero fouls one back over the Rockcats dugout. Now, you've covered the Fisher Cats now for a year. You covered them all year last year, and as far as baseball goes, what do you think about the team they have coming back this time?
I think better hitting, and I think it'd be tough to live up to the pitching they showed last year when they had the pitcher of the year and won 90 games, won the championship.
Romero drives one into left field and scooped up there by Ron Acuna for the first out of the inning. So 1 out. Fisher Cats trailing 3-0 here in the top of the 4th inning. And Brian Kennedy, the catcher, stepping up to the plate, flat out to center field his last time up.
Little basket catch there by Acuna, who played the ball nicely, came in and made the catch. He was a leadoff hitter for the Binghamton Mets last year in the playoffs, so good to see him come over. He's fast, should lead the team in stolen bases. But yeah, Jason, this team, last year the pitching staff, the way it came together and it all clicked, and a guy like Jamie Vermillier, who retires 41 batters in a row, and Chassin wins 16 games. Just a lot of, you can't expect that every year.
And the catcher Kennedy lines one in to left field and advances the runner Doug Deeds to second. So we have runners on first and second now with 1 out. And you're right, you mentioned Vermillier. He's back again. He pitched the only perfect game, I guess, in Fisher Cat history last year, and really came on, had a great season for the Fisher Cats, but especially towards the end of the year.
Yeah, he turned it up, and he was a versatile guy who would get a spot start when they needed him to, but he did most of his damage in the bullpen, and he just hammers the strike zone. He's a young kid with a lot of confidence, and it's funny how that bullpen it fed off itself all season long. One guy seemed to get hot, and that was Adam Peterson started it. Of course, he was the first player that went up to the Blue Jays. Right. And then it just carried on, and guys picked up the torch, and right on through the championship series.
So Ramirez now to Tommy Watkins, who takes first pitch swinging for a strike. 0-1. Watkins, you might remember in the last inning, in the 3rd inning, he hit that towering home run down to left field to put the Rockcats on the board.
Took my first walk through the visiting clubhouse today, and I was standing right next to Watkins for a minute, and as soon as he hit that home run, I'm thinking, man, that guy's got some power, because he's not that big a man.
No, these guys can swing, though. This is professional baseball, I guess. Ramirez having some trouble again this inning. He got rocked around last inning a little bit. Now he's giving up some hits again. You saw Jose Umbria take a minute to go out to the mound and talk to him as Watkins takes a ball low and away.
Watkins all of 5'8", but a good 200 pounds. I mean, that was a shot. I mean,
ball a little bit up in the zone. He turned on it, got ahead of it, got some good power on it, and just really ripped it down the line.
And I'll tell you, as you guys have probably pointed out, balls are just jumping out of this park during batting practice. And Ron Davenport today hit one off the light tower about halfway up in right field. I mean, as you know, 306 feet down the line.
Right.
I mean, there's going to be some home runs here. We're going to lose a lot of balls during batting practice.
We were talking about that. It did seem like balls were really jumping out during pregame. Ramirez gets Watkins to chase one on the outside part of the plate, so he goes down swinging, and that is 2 outs in the inning. So we have 2 outs, 2 on, 48 degrees, and Ishmael Ramirez trying to get himself out of another jam here in the top of the 4th inning. If you're just joining us, Jason King, Jamie Staten, joined by Kevin Gray of the Union Leader here to talk a little baseball at the new Fisher Cats ballpark. First pitch to Gil Velasquez, the shortstop for the New Britain Rockcats, is the ball just outside. So what do you think of, you said you've been busy writing some stories, haven't really been paying too close attention to the game just yet.
Well, I keep looking up from my videos, my computer screen, and keeping close tabs. But Ramirez making his first AA start. You know, like you said, needs to keep the ball down a little bit, but I'm really impressed with Liriano, who is the Twins' #1 pitching prospect at this level. Here's a guy who comes in, lefty, throws hard, and I guess they had a media day a couple days ago, and the manager was already drawing a comparison to a young Johan Santana. So imagine those expectations.
Yeah, he really does seem to be throwing the ball hard. He's got that, you know, from a lefty, especially to a right-handed batter. It's supposed to be easier, but you see that ball coming at you with the speed and the velocity that he has on it.
Yeah, it's not a guy that a lot of these players have seen a whole lot. So, and again, you know, first time they've seen some live pitching in almost a week now since they broke camp last Saturday.
So Ramirez falls behind Velasquez now. 3 balls and no strikes with runners on first and second. You can pretty much imagine that he'll be.
You mind if I get a word in here? I actually went and got a hot dog while you guys were.
Did you,
Jamie? We were talking about.
I would have, but they weren't free.
We were talking about the hitter-friendly environment. We're thinking you might even be able to hit the wall out there in right field.
It would take 3 hits, you know, three pitching wedges for me.
So Velasquez taken all the way, and he takes a strike right down the middle from Ramirez. So the count now 3-1. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th, and the Rockcats lead 3-0.
I would love to play a wiffle ball game out there in center field off that scoreboard, though.
That would be fun.
Tell you, fans around here, excuse me, Jason, fans around here are going to be spoiled. And we saw so many pitching gems last year at Gill Stadium. I'm talking about a perfect game. We saw our guy, Gavin Floyd of the Reading Phillies, throw a no-hitter through 8 innings. We saw a pitching duel between Gustavo Chacin and Scott Kazmir, who is now with the Devil Rays. You guys know Chacin.
I was going to say, some great outings from Chacin last year.
Yeah.
Great piece of hitting there by Velasquez as he takes the pitch the other way, and he's going to try to stretch a triple out of it as he rounds second. No, he holds up the throw to the plate, and it's off the mark. So 2 more runs score for the Rockcats on a stand-up double by the shortstop Gil Velasquez, and it's now 5-0. Rockcats in front. That's a nice piece of hitting there by Velasquez with 2 strikes, full count. He gets the ball on the outside part of the plate. He takes what Ramirez gives him and just sends it the other way.
Yeah, why not? Just put it in play and get some hacks on opening night. You don't want to go down looking. That's for sure. As the Fisher Cats bullpen quite active, Jordan DeYoung takes a walk out to the bullpen. It's another right-hander up in action.
And we have our first trip to the mound by manager Mike Basso. It looks like he's going to be taking the ball. So that's the end of the night for Ishmael Ramirez as he goes 3 2/3 innings. He allowed 5 runs, and we'll have his complete line for you when we come back right after this as the Fisher Cats change it up here in the top of the 4th. The Rockcats lead 5-0. All right, welcome back to the new Fisher Cats ballpark as the Rockcats lead 5-0 here in the top of the 4th, and the pitching change. Ishmael Ramirez sits down after 3 2/3 innings pitched. He allowed 5 runs on 6 hits, and the new pitcher you're looking at, Steve Andrade, number 34, 6'1", 220, out of Woodland, California.
You know, guys, it's such a jump, as I've found out, from single A to double A. And case in point, tomorrow's starter, Josh Banks. Here's a guy who goes 7-1 with a 1.80 ERA last year at single A, comes up to Gill Stadium and just gets absolutely rocked in his first start and ends up settling in, wins 6 games with an ERA at 5.03. But I think now if Ishmael Ramirez comes in and gets tagged with a 6th spot, that's a tough start.
We had mentioned Gustavo Chacin a minute ago. Let's talk about him right after this pitch, Jason.
And we're back at the top of the order for James Tomlin facing Steve Andrade. And the first pitch high, ball one. They checked down the first baseline. He did not go.
Chassin was the opening day starter for the Toronto Blue Jays on Tuesday against the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, and he pitched great. 5 innings, allowed just 1 run. Here you'll see him pick up a couple strikeouts. He's got that real interesting look with the glasses and everything, and what a great start. He's with the Fisher Cats last year as a seal foul ball, and this year he's the opening day starter for the Blue Jays.
You know, here's a guy who was not even on the radar screen a year ago. We were talking about Dustin McGowan. Cam Reimers was a quality starting pitcher. And, oh, by the way, here's this lefty, Gustavo Chassin. Well, all he did was go on to win the Eastern League Pitcher of the Year honors. And we saw him on TV the other night. And he has a real herky-jerky start to his motion. And the word on him is just the cut fastball. He loves it. And
let me rephrase that. He's the number 2 pitcher. Roy Halladay was the opening day starter.
Right.
But still, to be the number 2 pitcher in Toronto, that's good stuff for Chassin. They weren't even sure he was going to make the roster in spring training.
72-mile-an-hour fastball there from Andrade for strike 2.
72 is his fastball.
Curveball. Did I say fastball? I meant curveball.
That's okay.
Yeah, if you throw in the regular season, 2 starts in Syracuse, and the win he had at Yankee Stadium, Chassin won 19 games last year. They had to put him on the 40-man roster. They would have lost him in the offseason. So get him on the squad, and he's making it work out so far.
2-2, 2 outs to James Tomlin, and he takes the ball again on the outside corner. So it's full count.
How about these Union Leader guys? You know, you invite them on. You think an inning they'll be here for 10 minutes. We're still in the top of the 4th. You know,
I gotta call all my relatives. Hold on, man.
Up in Plymouth.
That's right.
Of the Plymouth Grays.
And a Plymouth
So
Girls.
James Tomlin goes down swinging, and that will end a tough inning for the Fisher Cats as the Rock Cats get 3 base hits and a 2 RBI double by Gil Velasquez, and they lead it 5-0 now after 3.5. We'll be back with the Fisher Cats attempt in the bottom of the inning after this. Welcome back to the Fisher Cats ballpark. Jamie Staten, Jason King, and joined by Kevin Gray of the Union Leader as the Rock Cats lead it 5-0 now in the bottom of the 4th. And Michael Hova, one of the returners for the Fisher Cats, stepping into the box, number 10. He's the right fielder for the Cats this year. He flied out to center field in his only other plate appearance tonight, and that was in the first inning. And Kevin, you have some experience with Hova.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to sit down with him at length last year with an interpreter. We talked about his defection from Cuba, and we had a 3-part series in the Union Leader, and it was quite a rewarding experience for me, and I know it has been for him to be playing baseball since the year 2000. It's quite a story, guys. I mean, it took him 2 attempts. His first one failed, and basically fled the island on a rickety old fishing boat. Grounds out to short, first out. He was picked up by a fishing boat, another fishing boat, and was detained for quite some time in the Bahamas, and was sent back to Cuba, and then made it out later on. But what a story.
Speaking of great stories, our Naoko Funayama joins us now. Naoko?
Hey guys, I'm sitting here with, I'm not sure if he's a Fisher Cats fan or an Orioles fan. Which one are you? Orioles fan, but you're at the Fisher Cats game. Are you having a good time?
Yes.
What's your name? Where are you from?
Matt, New Hampshire.
New Hampshire? What town in New Hampshire?
Litchfield.
Litchfield. All right. Are you, do me a favor, just wave to the camera. We got a camera over there. Wave to the camera, Matt. I see you got a glove here. Have you caught anything today?
Nope.
You think anything's heading this way? You hope so?
Yeah.
All right. Good luck, Matt. Have fun at the game.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you.
Naoko, thank
you.
Kevin Barker grounds out to second base there for a 4-3 putout. So
can I point out?
The Monarchs now have 2 outs in the inning, and number 15, Ron Acuna, the left fielder, steps into the box.
The Monarchs have 2 outs?
Did I say Monarchs?
Hey, can I just point out that this pitcher has a no-hitter going? I want to try to break up this karma here.
See, you just said it, though.
Yeah, but it's not our pitcher.
Watch this. Watch this. Base hit up the middle.
That's great. It's their pitcher, so we want to break that up, right?
So Acuna takes strike one on the outside corner. Nice pitch by Liriano.
One more note on Hova, talking to Jose Umbria, the starting catcher, before the game, and I asked him who he thought would hit the most home runs this year after I saw all these balls flying out there in batting practice. He said Hova, which surprised me. With Davenport and Kevin Barker, who has big league experience as well, and Hova, who had 10 home runs last year, but really it was more of a breakout year for him. Just numbers across the board, all improved.
Ron Acuna drives one into the right center gap, and a nice catch on the run made by James Tomlin, and that ends the inning. So once again, the Fisher Cats come out of it scoreless, and they trail after 4 innings 5-0 to the Rock Cats.
Can we do this again sometime?
Yeah, Kevin, thanks for coming by.
Anytime,
right,
Kevin. Thank you.
Thanks.
Welcome back, and there's a dog loose on the field. Jamie, there's no pets allowed, Jamie.
Well, you know what? It's funny because I was here last night at 12:30 in the morning. The Fisher Cats were doing a lot of moving, and I came over to say hi on my way home, and there was a raccoon roaming the concourse because somebody had left some Chinese food out. And then this morning, I came over at 8:30 in the morning, and our morning crew had been here, Ray Brewer and Chris Thomas and Danny Ryan, the photographer. There was a possum running around the field. So we're right by the river. There's going to be some wild animals running around. It's kind of interesting.
Fisher cats, raccoons, possums, and now dogs with frisbees.
The interesting thing with the possum was somehow he either sat on a Channel 9 sticker or somehow they put a Channel 9 sticker on this possum because he was running around the field. I kid you not. I can't make this stuff up, with a Channel 9 sticker stuck to him. So you figure.
Well, with that in mind, we'll looking at the second inning for Steve Andrade. The pitcher for the Fisher Cats came in relief in the 4th inning for Ishmael Ramirez, and his first pitch to second baseman Luis Massa is
Hey, we do have video of that possum. I didn't know that we had that. You can see on his tail there's a shiny thing. It was hard to see.
Yeah, I don't see Channel 9 there.
You know, I'm not making it up, but there was a possum. That at least proves that part of the story.
Mazza fouls down to the Fisher Cats bullpen area.
Well, we're going to see that the bullpen,
Vito Chiravalati,
the bullpen comes into play here, as you see there. What happened there is he was running. He just kind of got stuck on home plate there. A little bit of elevation. The dirt's different, and that won't be the last time that happens with the bullpens right near the fair line there.
One big difference from Gill Stadium is they had the bullpens outside the park, out in the outfield, and these are wide open, just like they say many Eastern League fields have them.
Well, it's neat. I mean, look at the fans. They are right on top of the guys warming up in the bullpen. There's not a bad seat in this ballpark.
All right, so the count 2-1 to Luis Massa. No outs here. And that one's fouled back and out of play. So evens up at 2-2. Taking a look at the bullpen down there on the...
You can see he's warming up.
First base line.
He's about 2 steps to his right, and he's in fair territory. And the fans are about 5 steps to his left. So
poor catcher
very
has his
intimate.
back to home plate.
Yeah, very intimate.
Mazza wanted to go for that one, but he held off, and a good choice. It was low and away, so that's ball 3. Full count now with no outs in top of the 5th.
Speaking of intimate, I'm missing my favorite show, The OC, right now, but I will watch that later and bring you up to speed, Jason.
Thank you. That's what TiVo's for. Mazza sends it down the foul line.
Nice catch.
Caught in fair territory by the right fielder, Michael Hova. So 1 out in the inning.
Gabby Torres coming up. He's grounded out to short and hit a sacrifice fly that drove in a run for the New Britain Rock Cats. So he has an RBI in the game.
That RBI triple. He hit that one down towards the tarp, down the left field line. First pitch from Andrade. Looked like a curveball and it falls low and away for ball one.
The first of 71 Fisher Cats home games that we will broadcast live for you this year. Did you get that memo, Jason?
Did you see the blank look come over my face?
No, they will play 71 home games this year. And they play 142 games on the season in 151 days. They get 9 days off in 150. Isn't that amazing?
It's really a crazy schedule.
Yeah.
Similar to last year.
And 3 of those days are All-Star break.
So Andrade having a little trouble, falls behind quickly. 3 balls, no strikes to Torres. That one even, I believe, bounced before home plate. That one got away from him.
That was a bad one.
But there is action in the Fisher Cats bullpen. Can't quite see from here who that is warming up out there.
I brought binoculars. I knew this would happen.
Pull him out. Pull him out. Andrade throws a strike right down the middle with Torres taking all the way. So 3-1 is your count.
I'll tell you, they warm up with their backs to us, so you can't see their number. But I can recognize who that is. I think it's Josh Banks.
Oh, is it?
It's number 1.
Okay, so Torres draws walk. So 1 out, 1 on. Rockcats lead 5-0 on 8 hits.
If I could find a roster around here, I can tell you who it is. I think it's Josh Banks.
Committed by the Rockcats.
Did you steal my Fisher Cats roster?
No, it's right here.
Okay, here it is. Nope, I was wrong. It's Bubby Buzzacaro warming up. Buzzacaro.
Curveball, strike 1 to the first baseman, Danny Matienzo. This one grounded to second base, picked up. Nice coverage by Andrade at first base for the second out of the inning. So Matienzo goes down on a fielder's choice.
That is the first thing pitchers work at in spring training. As you see right there, a pitcher warming up, Bubby Buzzacaro from Livingston, Tennessee. Went 2-2 and with 25 saves for as the closer of Dunedin last year's single-A baseball. That's the first thing those pitchers work on in spring training is the ground ball to the right side covering first base, and Andrade did it beautifully there.
Dunedin, where the Fisher Cats hold their spring training, is just outside of Clearwater, Florida. People might be a little bit more familiar with the Clearwater area than Dunedin. At the plate, Doug Deeds, the right fielder. Flied out to the pitcher in the second inning, and then in the fourth, singled, and later scored a run.
Hey kids, why not spend your special day at the ballpark with a Fisher Cats birthday party? Fisher Cats offer 2 fun-filled birthday packages that include cake, presents, food, and a visit from Fungo. Call 641-2005. It's tough to do those between pitches. It's an art form.
You squeeze that in.
Not quite. I can do better.
1 ball, 1 strike to Deeds, the right fielder for the Rockcats. Andrade from the stretch. That one pulled hard towards the Fisher Cats bullpen for strike 2.
Couple of strikeouts so far. Well, that was Matienzo. Doug Deeds singled last time up.
Deeds drives one to shallow left field, and Acuna comes in, makes a nice catch to end the inning. So the Fisher Cats escape without allowing any runs in the top of the 5th, but the Rockcats still lead it. 5-0 is your score from Fisher Cats Ballpark.
And it's 5-0 New Britain. Jason, I want to show you a new tool that we have here, a telestrator in our broadcast booth. I want to show you how this works here. I'm going to show you the power alleys. There's one right there. There's another right there. It's behind shortstop. And there's one right there. Watch the gap out here. And you want to watch the area right there. It's our new telestrator.
That's very nice. Is that a big hello to Mom at home?
Hi, Mom.
Yeah, let me just get rid of that for you.
Thank you.
That's good. That's an appropriate use of the new telestrator.
third baseman, number 14, Rob Cosby.
Here we go, Rob Cosby. Your third baseman for the Fish Cats, number 14, steps up. He struck out in his only other plate appearance back in the second inning. This time he grounds a soft one to shortstop, and that's an easy 6-3 putout. So quickly, one pitch, one out here in the bottom of the fifth.
I have to think Mike Basso wants a little more patience out of his guys right now. They're going against a pitcher that has not allowed a hit in Francisco Liriano, and he's getting on in the game here. First start of the year, it's unlikely he's going to go 9 innings. They need to take a few pitches, make him work a little deeper into the count than first pitch swinging.
Catcher Jose Umbria steps into the plate, and he grounded out to second base in his only other plate appearance back in the second inning. And these guys haven't really seen much action at the plate. As you mentioned, Liriano's throwing one gem of a game so far. 4.5 innings complete now.
Well, this is a $20 million ballpark, as it turned out, and with more on the construction and the man who built it, we're joined by Nowco.
Hi, I'm here with a representative from Payton Construction. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, my name's Mark Dager. I'm the project superintendent of this job.
All right, well, this is a beautiful stadium. I know it's gotten a lot of positive reaction from the fans here. What is it like for you to actually see this opening day?
Oh, it's great. It looks completely different than when there was nobody in it. It's really good. The fan lines are good. There's no bad seats in the house, so I think we did a good job. I like it.
I know there was some concern that there was some last-minute things that you guys needed to get done, but to see this actually open and to see the fans here, I mean, certainly you must be full of pride.
Yes, very much. We came in here 10 months ago and promised we'd get this done, and we said we delivered on the date, and we did. So it's a sense of accomplishment. I'm very proud of what we did here. Had a lot of help from a lot of good people.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Jamie and Jason, back up to you guys.
All right, Nako, thank you. As Francisco Liriano gives up only his second walk of the ball game to Jose Umbria, so the Fisher Cats have a runner at first with one out here in the bottom of the fifth. And they've really done a great job getting this ballpark up and running.
Unbelievable how fast they pulled this together. You know, our studio at Channel 9 is just down the road a couple hundred yards, so we could see the daily progress just driving by it going to work, and they pulled this thing together in a hurry.
Vito Chiaravolati is at the plate now, the first baseman for the Fisher Cats, and he struck out looking back in the third.
But they maintained the quality. You know, they hurried it along, but maintained the commitment to a quality ballpark, and it is very, very nice.
One of the pieces of the ballpark that is not complete yet is the, as you take a look off in the distance, as you mentioned, WMUR TV. That's our bell tower, as we like to call it.
Oh,
probably
that reminds me.
400 yards or so down the street.
I don't think I punched in today. That reminds me.
I think you're covered.
I forgot to put the time card in.
They know where you've been. That one gets away from Liriano, a ball way outside. So 1 ball now, 2 strikes to Chiaravolati.
Let's compare notes here. It's third base runner for the Fisher Cats in this game, right? 1 on an error and 2 on walks. Is that what you have? Sure, right?
I'll look in a second.
Yeah.
That's a 91 mile an hour fastball from Liriano to get Chiaravolati swinging for the second out of the ball game, or the second out of the inning. So the Fisher Cats down to their final out here in the bottom of the fifth, and it's Brad Hasse who was the base runner that reached on that error. It was an error on the shortstop, and 2 base runners on walks, and Brad Hasse was on with an error.
Well, if he is able to keep up this no-hitter into the 6th, 7th inning, it becomes a real tough question for the Rock Cats manager, Stan Clyburn, on whether or not you leave him in. You don't want to ruin a kid's arm in a cold night. Fouled down the line and into the stands. You don't want to ruin a kid's arm just so you have a chance at a no-hitter. I mean, his development comes first.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. And it reminds me of a situation last year where one of the Fisher Cats pitchers, I don't quite remember who it was, had a chance at a no-hitter, but he reached his pitch count and he was pulled from the ball game with 1 inning to go. And I can remember asking Mike Basso after the game if there was any consideration or any thought to leave him in there to try to pick up that no-hitter, and Mike Basso said no way. He belongs to the Toronto Blue Jays, and it's their development and their arm is what matters. So they're going to go strictly by pitch counts and let the chips fall where they may.
I think that might have been Jamie Vermillier.
Well, Vermillier did pitch a perfect game for the Fisher Cats last year. I want to say it might have been, it could have been him. I want to say it was maybe Chassin or Brandon League. Although I'm
not sure Brandon League got any starts last year.
Did he not?
I don't think so. You know, it also could have been Dustin McGowan. And he is cruising.
Yeah, that one fouled into the mitts, so that's the third out of the game. He's down on strikes on an 86-mile-an-hour fastball. So after 5, the Rock Cats lead the Fisher Cats 5-0.
Tomorrow, catch another season-opening game here on WMUR. The Manchester Wolves kick off their new season from the Verizon Wireless Arena at 7:30 as they go up against the Florida Firecats. The Wolves season opener tomorrow here on WMUR.
Welcome back, everyone. The Fisher Cats trail 5-0 in their inaugural ball game against the New Britain Rock Cats. And another pitching change for the Fisher Cats. Now we'll mention right off the top, it's Bubby Buzzacaro who's in to replace Steve Andrade. So it's the third pitcher for the Fisher Cats this evening. And while we're talking about this new ballpark, let's take a look with General Manager Sean Smith, who joins us now for the 6th inning, or the bottom. Where are we? Yeah, the top of the 6th inning. Talking about the new clubhouse, nearly 6,200 square feet with locker rooms and a lounge and training room, all kinds of stuff. It's really a beautiful place.
Thank you for having me on. You guys are doing an unbelievable job tonight. 7 cameras, just a beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah,
night.
but you haven't actually heard any of it, have you, Sean?
No, I've seen in some of the suites as we've been visiting people, seen you guys on TV, and I know that Channel 9 always does a great job. Yeah, the ballpark is a fantastic place for the players. 6,200 square feet, as you had mentioned. The one main locker area that we just showed a graphic of here a moment ago, that one single room right there is equivalent in size to the locker room, showers, restroom, and training room at Gill Stadium. So imagine last year we had 29 men in one small space for the entire season. And now these guys have so much room to run around in, they don't know what to do with themselves.
Yeah, they were all just in awe when they came into the ballpark on Monday and saw it for the first time, including manager Mike Basso, as Alex Romero led off the inning with a single out to left field, and now at the plate is the catcher Brian Kennedy. And you have a packed house here tonight, 6,500 capacity, and it's full to the gills as Umbria tries to pick off the runner at second, but Romero in there with a stolen base. And speaking of all these ticket holders, you have plenty of season tickets that have been sold and some suites. We want to check in with Naoko Funayama, who has some of those ticket holders, I believe, to talk with. Naoko?
Hey guys, yeah, I am here with some season ticket holders. Bill Rosenthal from, or Bob Rosenthal, right, from Manchester. You guys were here for, well, not here, but at Gill Stadium for the Eastern League Championship when the Fisher Cats won. What's it like to be in this stadium?
Well, it's obviously a beautiful stadium for the city to enjoy, and you look around, you see all the families here tonight, and it's just a fabulous venue. I mean, it's kind of thrilling to be here, actually.
This is a pretty good seat right by third base.
Absolutely. You have to have heads up right now with the lefties up there.
I was going to say there's a young season ticket holder here as well, Connor Lorenz. Say hello to our cameras. Wave at the camera for us.
Hi.
Hi, wave.
Wave.
You got a glove here? You got a glove here with you? Yeah? You're going to catch something tonight?
Maybe.
All right. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the game. Jamie and Jason, back up to you guys.
All right, Naoko, thank you. Brian Kennedy has a 2-2 count. He's 1 for 2 on the night, and now he takes one in the ankle. So Kennedy gets a free ride to first base. He flew out back in the second inning, singled in the fourth, also scored a run as Buzzacaro comes inside and low and takes him right off the top of the foot.
Bubby's got a great baseball, doesn't he? Bubby Buzzacaro.
Bubby Buzzacaro.
How come I didn't get a first name like that, let alone a last name? Like the most boring name on the planet.
Sean's not bad.
Smith, I mean, come on.
At the plate now, Tommy Watkins, who has the only home run in the ball game back in the third inning. He is 1 for 2 with a home run and a strikeout. So talk about, fans have been good to you guys. You have a lot of season ticket holders. You have all these suites. Not all of them are sold yet, but as the season gets underway, I'm sure they'll pick up.
Yeah, I think that there are a lot of people that weren't certain that this ballpark was going to be done. 10 months ago, Jason, there was nothing here. Nothing at all, except the construction project that was just underway. Right. And fortunately, we've been blessed with some good weather and a fantastic construction company with Peyton Construction. And we are here now, and we're here for the long haul. And I promise you, everyone that sets foot into this ballpark will love it, and they will certainly love the way we take care of them.
Buzacaro picks up a strike on the curveball. 0-2, that one high for the first ball on the count. 1-2 now to Watkins, the third baseman for the Rock Cats, as New Britain has runners at first and second with no outs in the inning. And you just must be tickled by the way this night's turned out so far.
Yeah, it's been a beautiful night. There's some bumps and bruises. Took us a while to get people in the park, but we'll learn as we go.
Watkins to straightaway center field. A routine fly ball for Miguel Negron, and that's the first out of the inning. So now stepping up to the plate is the shortstop, Gil Velasquez, who drove in 2 runs with a double down the right field line back in the 4th inning. That gave them the 5-run cushion after they led 3-0 entering that inning. So the Rockcats lead 5-0. We're in the top of the 6th. Bubby Buzacaro on the mound for the Fisher Cats, the third Fisher Cats pitcher after the starter Ishmael Ramirez was pulled after 4 2/3. First pitch strike.
You see our catcher Jose Umbria there. It was nice to have Umby back this year, and when we did our pregame ring ceremony, I wanted to make sure that we announced Umby last. He was a fan favorite. The players love him. In fact, all the guys in the organization love him. He's just got such a great attitude, and he's a workhorse. Comes in every day, gives his all, and makes the most out of his abilities.
Yeah, really, like you said, one of the fan favorites last year. He shared time with Paul Sciaffredo behind the plate last year. And speaking of Paul Sciaffredo, guys like Aaron Hill, and you had a great number of good ball players last year, and it looks like your talent level is right up there again this time around.
Oh, definitely. And the Blue Jays are stacked for years to come, and you'll be able to benefit right from that right here in downtown Manchester.
All right, so Velasquez hits into an inning-ending double play, and we'll go after 5.5 innings. New Britain leads the New Hampshire Fisher Cats 5-0. We'll be back for the bottom of the inning after this. All right, welcome back. Some more dog tricks for you down the first base line, and maybe if we pay Jamie Staten a little bit more, we can get him to do that with a frisbee. That's pretty cool. All kinds of entertainment for the capacity crowd here. 6,500 at the new Fisher Cats ballpark as the New Hampshire Fisher Cats trail 5-0. As we've mentioned a couple times tonight, Jamie Vermillier pitched the first perfect game, actually the only perfect game in Fisher Cats history. It was back last June on the 28th against this very team, the New Britain Rock Cats, back in 2004. Vermillier with a great season for the Fisher Cats last year, and they expect big things from him this year as well. Still on the mound is Francisco Liriano.
Still with a no-hitter.
The New Britain Rock Cats, and he still has a no-hitter going. It's funny, they only...
What happened to Sean Smith?
Oh, yeah, our thanks to Sean Smith. He had to take off during the half inning.
He was just a half-inning guy. He couldn't go the distance.
Tell you what, he must have been going full speed for
a long time,
a week or two now, and he's just ready to curl up and go to sleep.
Well, he's the Fisher Cats general manager. First pitches a ball. He slept here last night and didn't get a lot of it because there was no heat in his office and he was freezing, he said.
We certainly appreciate him coming on with us, talk a little bit about the whole process and this ball club, and you know, what's turned out to be, I'm sure, just a great night for everyone involved.
I just went
Fisher Cats organization.
I just went in search of Drew Weber briefly because I want to make sure that Nowco interviews him tonight. The owner of the Fisher Cats. Has to be a glorious night for him as well. So hopefully we'll hear from him soon.
So Liriano falls behind quickly to Miguel Negron to start off here at the bottom of the 6th inning, and he earns a 4-pitch walk. So the leadoff batter for the Fisher Cats is on base here in the bottom of the inning. I guess that's a good sign.
That's very good. And now we get the speedster, the fastest guy on the team, on first base. And there is somebody warming up now in the Fisher Cats bullpen.
The Rock Cats.
the Rockcats. So loss of control, always an early sign that maybe a pitcher's getting tired and it's time to get a guy up in the bullpen. And we'll make out the number for you.
Haven't seen Liriano pitch from the stretch too much tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, now warming up in the bullpen for the New Britain Rockcats. Kevin Cameron. I was trying to do PA announce it. Echo. Kevin Cameron is up in the bullpen.
Carlo Kodos, second baseman for the Fisher Cats. He's at the plate now, falls behind quickly. Swinging away on that second pitch, so the count now 0-2.
Well, I thought you and Sean were going to do the entire 6th inning. I'm glad I came back. It would have been lonely in here.
Koda takes the ball low and inside.
We're live on WMUR TV, our first live baseball game in quite a while now, as you see Kevin Cameron warming up, the right-hander. We got a lefty on the mound now and a righty warming up in the bullpen. Our first live baseball game since the Nashville Pirates in the mid-'80s.
You think? That one fouled back hard into the screen. Count 1-2 to Carlo Koda. The Fisher Cats trying to get something going here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Anything is right. They have their leadoff runner on and try to get a couple across the plate.
It is all zeros on the scoreboard for the Fisher Cats. No runs, no hits.
Koda tried to check his swing on that one, but did go around for the call. Third strike, so that's the first out of the inning. Koda now with his second strikeout of the ball game. And Michael Hova at the plate.
Well, I think if you're Miguel Negron, you gotta try to make something happen here. Another error on the infield. That's about all that's been going wrong for the Rockcats' defense.
Tommy Watkins at third base came in to try to scoop that one up with one hand. It would have been a tough play to make. He never would have got the runner at second base, and Hova would have been close at first, but
I think you have to score that an error, though.
Yeah, that's an error. I would guess that that's an error to Tommy Watkins. It's funny because you were talking with him before the game, making some small talk, talking about the bad hops down there at third base.
That's right.
And he was blaming himself.
Very nice guy. Yeah, there were a lot of bad hops for Watkins, and he was like, I got to catch those.
That one driven deep to left field. Nice play, though, by Alex Romero to get back and make the catch. Not sure if that died a little bit in the wind.
I think so, because it was blasted. I mean, that was hit on a line by Kevin Barker, but somehow I think the wind knocked it down. Just got out there in the power alley and didn't seem to carry.
So that's a long fly out for Barker, who has made contact all 3 of his plate appearances, a couple of ground outs and now a fly out into deep left field. So that's the second out of the inning. And up at the plate now is Ron Acuna, the left fielder. That one fouled straight back in the screen for strike 1.
This is a 6-game homestand for the Fisher Cats to start the season. Then they go on the road.
7 actually.
Is it 7?
7 games. 4 games with New Britain and then
6 after tonight.
Right.
And then they go on the road for 7.
That one fouled down the first baseline and about 10 rows up in the stands. No
Monday.
That one for Danny Matienzo.
Monday at 7:30, excuse me, on New Hampshire Chronicle. Kids learning a sweet lesson at school. They go maple sugaring, and Fritz Weatherby with a story of an Indian attack. That wasn't an Indian attack. That wasn't. That's Monday's New Hampshire Chronicle, 7:30 here on WMUR TV.
No balls, 2 strikes to Ron Acuna. Runners on first and second for the Fisher Cats, and Liriano from the stretch. That one driven hard up the middle, and that could be extra bases. So the first Fisher Cats run of the ball game comes across.
First hit.
Bottom of the 6th. It is Miguel Negron crosses the plate on the RBI single from Ron Acuna on a solid hit into center field, but played nicely by James Tomlin.
Solid is right. This is just on the fat part of the baseball bat, and he lines a shot up the middle. No doubt about this one. It very nearly got by the center field, as the grass might be getting a little slick, a little wet in the night air. Good job to track that one down by James Tomlin and get it in a hurry, but they have runners at the corner, and the first hit in Fisher Cats history is left fielder Ron Acuna.
Rob Cosby at the plate now. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out.
Can I change that? First hit in Fisher Cats ballpark history.
Okay.
Rob Acuna. They did get a couple hits last year.
Yeah, they got a couple. Check swing, ground out right back to the pitcher, so that'll do it for the Fisher Cats, as it looked like Cosby wanted to hold up on that one, but it's a ground out, 1-3, and that ends the inning. But the Fisher Cats do get one across. They get their first base hit in the new ballpark and their first run in the new ballpark. They trail now after 6, 5-1, Rock Cats lead.
Just after 9 o'clock at Fisher Cats Ballpark, we have your must-see Thursday night TV right here. New Britain up 5-1 on the Fisher Cats.
Hey, look at the low numbers there across the Fisher Cats board. They have one run and one hit. That one hit just given up last inning after a great performance by Liriano. We're probably not done for the night, but Jamie Staten back. We will switch things back over the way we began the broadcast, and Jamie doing your play-by-play for the final 3 innings.
And Bubby Buzacaro is the Fisher Cats pitcher. He'll face the top of the lineup and James Tomlin. Let's bring in Naoko Funoyama and get a sense of how things are going in the stands. Are still most of the people there, Naoko?
I think so. It's cleared out a little bit. I don't know if it's because it's a little chilly or people are just kind of getting up and getting food. There's a considerable amount of traffic on the concourse, so I'm thinking that maybe people have just gotten up to get some dinner and all that.
I'll tell you what, the kids do have school tomorrow, so it's getting a late for, and this is a young crowd, isn't it?
This is true. This is true. So that could very well be the case.
Tomlin fouls that one off on the right side. And I guess, has Drew Weber found you yet? Very interesting character tonight.
Drew Weber is sitting right next to me. He's chatting with the fans here a little bit, but I'll try and get his attention as we talk on camera here. Drew, sorry to interrupt your chat with the fans, but I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on what this opening day has been like.
This has just been great. I've seen so many smiling faces around this park, and this is baseball, and this is hot dogs, and this is fun, and it is 50 degrees. It's not summer, but that'll be coming soon.
3.5 years in the making, this stadium. What does it feel like to actually see this come to fruition?
It's just great. Noko, it's just, I know I'm repeating myself here, but it's just those smiling faces. That's what makes it all worthwhile.
As for the game, have you actually been able to watch any of the game today?
Oh, I am right now. This is it. I kind of like to test people on the score, and if not many people know the score, that's a good sign. They're having a good time.
All right, great. Well, you came down to the seats just in time to see the Fisher Cats' first run of the game.
That's good, and I think, your meteorologist promised no rain.
No rain.
That was good, and he was right.
He was, yes, he was, my cat.
Jamie promised to win, so I'm still waiting for that.
Pressure is on Jamie Staten now. Did you guys get that?
Yeah, Naoko, and I usually not too good at those kind of things. Can you ask him how his wife Joanne is doing, recovering from pancreatic cancer?
Jamie would like to know how your wife is doing, recovering from her cancer.
Oh, thank you for asking. She's doing great. She's just, a pretty amazing person, and it's just been very important to me in this 3.5 years situation. Terrific support, and to be more specific, I mean, she's worked with the souvenir people setting up the store for the last 2 days, and you're talking to somebody right now that hasn't done a darn thing.
Oh. there's always a good woman behind a successful man, right?
That's it.
All right.
But I don't know if the women will appreciate that. But
All right, Jamie and Jason, back to you guys.
All right, thanks now, Co, and congratulations to Drew Weber. And don't let him believe that he's done nothing, because this guy has paid a lot of money to make this night come to fruition. It was a $19 million, well, the original bond was $27.5 million. A lot of that went into Gill Stadium, some went into the planning. $19 million of that money went into this stadium, but there was an overrun, and he ended up paying $900,000 out of his own pocket for the extra costs. Plus, he paid an extra $1.7 million as we see a line drive single to right field, as Buzzacaro has allowed a couple of hits with 2 outs. He paid $1.7 million for things like office furniture, equipment, and the $550,000 scoreboard in center field. So not only is he in debt big time to the city and has to pay back $20 million, but he also put a lot of his own money up front to make this ballpark as nice as it was. And Jason, when they needed to cut back on a few things at the ballpark to save a little money, they didn't cut back anything that had anything to do with the fans. They cut back the size of the office space and maybe the size of the clubhouse a little bit, but none of the cutbacks were anything that the fans would experience. Ball gets away from the catcher there, Umbria, and the runners advance to second and third with 2 outs.
Let's go back on a scoring change in the 6th inning. We'll give Michael Hova an infield single on that grounder to third base. They did not charge Tommy Watkins with an error.
So that becomes the first hit in Fisher Cats ballpark history.
That's right.
It's taken away, the honor is taken away from Rob Acuna, and now the first hit in the history of the ballpark goes to Michael Hova, which is important for the history books. So 1-1 count to Doug Deeds, right fielder for the Rock Cats. Men on second and third and 2 down.
And the official attendance just in for tonight's
let me guess.
ball game. Okay,
let me guess.
You guess.
7,064.
Oh, you were close. 7,065.
Oh, I didn't see that last kid come in. Yeah. Anyway, that's impressive.
That's the dog. You didn't count the dog.
Oh, that's right. No, there's 6,500 seats. So that means an extra 500 people are here.
Right.
Just standing in the concourse watching the game.
An extra 565.
Yeah. Again, the math is a little rough. Important situation here for the Fisher Cats and their young pitcher, Bubby Buzzacaro. That's a strike 3 and a beautiful pitch to help him get out of the inning unscathed. No runs for the Rock Cats despite 2 hits in the top of the 7th inning. We go to the bottom of the 7th. 7th inning stretch. It's 5-1 Rock Cats.
Tomorrow, catch another season-opening game here on WMUR. The Manchester Wolves kick off their new season from the Verizon Wireless Arena at 7:30 as they go up against the Florida Firecats. The Wolves season opener tomorrow here on WMUR.
And you see a promo there for the Manchester Wolves. Will have their game live tomorrow night against the defending league champion Florida Firecats. And we have a break here in the middle of the 7th inning for God Bless America.
Through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
All right, a little 7th inning tradition there of baseball. And while we have a moment, let's go back down to Naoko Funayama.
Hi, Jamie. You know, the fans here, even though the Fisher Cats are losing 5-1, they continue to be into this game and continue cheering on. this new team for 2005. And we got a chance to speak with Mike Basso earlier this week about the new talent he's got on this team.
Really, because I haven't had these guys in over a year, a lot of them. Some of them I've had in the past, and I know what they can do. You can look at track records and see, but you know, it's all a different animal up here. You know, it's a different level, different place, different environment, different food. Everything's different. And that's the beauty of this whole situation. They'll tell me what kind of team we have.
We'll see how the guys pick it up here in the 7th. Jamie and Jason, back up to you guys.
All right, Nauco, thanks. Swing and a miss by Jose Umbria to get the bottom of the 7th going. And did you see the cameraman that was right next to Nauco Funayama?
I was going to say, hey, Nauco, next time have Ryan Murphy stick his head out and say hello.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Can we give us a wave, Ryan? Can you?
Oh, there he is. Great work down the third base line.
I would say good. Good work. Above.
We'll give great to Paul Falco, who's up on the roof down on the.
And Chris McDevitt in center field. All our photographers. We have 7 of them here. They've all got a tough job except Scott Hazard. He's in the press box, nice, cozy, and warm with free drinks. We put the Pinkerton guy up in the press box. No?
Yeah. I know how that works.
We stick together. So it's a 1-2 count. And while we're mentioning some of the folks, Michelle Schlickman is our director tonight. She'll do it again with the Wolves tomorrow. Fouled right side, 1-2. Fisher Cats down to their last 9 outs here.
Mention Dave so he doesn't get mad.
Go for it.
It's Dave Hurlburt.
Dave Hurlburt, our producer. And so strike 3 there on Umbria. And pitching for the Rock Cats now.
First baseman, number 31, Vito
Kevin Cameron. Comes into the game and gets a strikeout. Good way to start the season for him. And he faces Vito Chiaravolati. The Fisher Cats' first baseman in the game has struck out twice, once looking and once swinging. So he's looking to turn his fortunes around here with New Britain leading New Hampshire 5-1. You know who's coming on with us next inning? Do you have any hard-hitting questions for the good mayor of Manchester?
Oh, Mr. Baines. I'm sure I can take some up.
Next one down the right field line, curling. Will it stay fair? Just foul into the bullpen.
Cameron has some good stuff here in relief. His last pitch was a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. That one 91.
I'm interested to know how much money is in Bob Baines' wallet. Will you ask him that when he's in the booth with us?
Sure.
Okay. Just interested to know.
Write it down
It's
so I
different
don't
people
forget.
and what they carry around. You and I typically under $11.
I have a $5 bill.
Swing and fouled back by Chiaravolito. So the count is 1-2 to the Fisher Cats' first baseman. They need to get something going. They've got a new pitcher here now, Kevin Cameron. So they didn't have a whole lot of luck with the starter, Francisco Liriano, just 2 hits. And here it's gone back to the pitcher and an easy out there. 2 down in the bottom of the 7th. That'll bring Brad Hassey, the shortstop, to the plate. In the open of the show, we called it the Miracle on the Merrimack. What did you think of that?
You called it that.
Well, I speak for both of us, right?
Oh, is that how it works?
We're a team. There's no I in we. But it really is a miracle. I mean, to spend $20 million and pull this thing together in 11 months and have it be so beautiful and sell out on opening night. And it's along the Merrimack.
A lot of skeptics along the way to think that this would actually be open for this game tonight on April 7th.
That one's grounded to another infield error on the New Britain Rockets. We laugh just because they're in control of this ball game and they got to be scratching their heads about some of the problems they've had. That's Tommy Watkins again, who's going to pick up his 2nd error of the game.
That one should be an error, unlike the Michael Hova infield hit a couple innings ago.
So Hasse reaches base for the second time tonight, and they go around to the top of the order with Miguel Negron. He walked his last plate appearance. And if you're looking for something really exciting, we have a trivia question we're going to show you going into our next commercial break.
I'll give you a trivia question right now. You ready?
First, I want to
look at Tommy Watkins down at third base. Just a dribbler towards shortstop. He tries to come across and cut it off. Would have been a nice play had he been able to glove it.
Wow, that's ripped into the concourse. Look out.
That almost went into the concession stand.
There's a sign down, several signs in the concourse that say beware of batted balls from the field of play, and that's exactly why they have that. So that was a rocket shot into the concrete concourse, and everybody's okay. Wow.
Don't let me forget my trivia question.
I won't.
So the official score, yes, that is E5, another error to Tommy Watkins down there at third base. All right, so trivia question, and it comes from tonight. See how good your short-term memory is. Who scored the first and only Fisher Cats run of the season?
Well, I have the book right in front of me.
So?
Negron. Miguel Negron. Well, that's it. That's a strikeout. That's a strikeout to end the 7th inning. 5-1 Rockcats. And Jason, a little trivia going into the break.
Yeah, does anybody out there know who led the Fisher Cats last season in stolen bases? We'll have the answer for you when we come back.
And welcome back. We go to the 8th inning. Our trivia question going into the commercial break in their inaugural season. Who led the New Hampshire Fisher Cats in stolen bases? Jason?
And the answer is Cyril Godwin. He had 42 last year. He was the speedster for the Fisher Cats last year. Had a great year in that championship run.
And now we bring in the speedster from the mayoral office at City Hall. We have the Honorable Mayor Bob Baines joins us.
Well, it's great to be here.
Yes.
It's an exciting night in downtown Manchester, and it's great to have Channel 9 a part of promoting this great baseball team. So thank you for all you've done to promote the Fisher Cats.
We're happy to be here. We're happy to have you. As Alex Romero is hit on the first pitch by the new Fisher Cats pitcher, John Ogletree, who's a returning New Hampshire Fisher Cat, was on the team last year. And Mayor, if that's a sign of what's going to happen while you're up here, we got to work on the karma here.
Maybe they're aiming for me. I don't know. You never can tell.
Ogletree has that kind of sidearm delivery. Brought that one in just a little bit too far on the inside, I guess you could say, and caught him right on the hip.
The leadoff batter is on for New Britain, and Brian Kennedy comes to the plate with nobody out. Well, what does this mean to you? I mean, this is your city, and this is your ballpark now.
Well, let that pitch first there.
Yeah, we got a stolen base, and that was an easy one for Alex Romero, who took off on the sidewinder there, Ogletree, who has a slow delivery to the plate.
Well, I'm very excited about it. You know, to see something like this, a project that a lot of people said would never happen, and have a jam-packed baseball stadium tonight and see the smiles on the people in Manchester. It's a very happy day for me.
The 0-1 pitch coming from Ogletree. And New Britain showing bunt, maybe try to get Romero over to third base. You looked like a kid in a candy store in the pregame ceremony. You had a big grin on your face.
Well, I'm going to tell you, you know what we went through to get this project done. So this has been a great day, great week for me, seeing this ballpark completed.
What were some of the major hurdles that had you thinking maybe this wasn't going to happen?
Well, starting with the Boston Red Sox, would they give us permission to have a team up here, because they controlled the territorial rights, and Mayor Menino stepped in, helped me get an audience with Larry Lucchino, and then the discussions moved forward. That was just one of the many obstacles for this project.
Grounded fouled on the first base side. Then there was a sewer line, right? That looked
we had
like
sewer
it was
lines, we had contamination, we had a business partnership go south. It started out with one group going to develop this whole parcel, and then we ended up with 3 different entities, Drew Weber, the Rodells, and Eric Chinberg. But I think at the end we ended up with a better project, a project that certainly is very viable and is going to be very successful.
2-2 count to the catcher for the Rockcats, Brian Kennedy. That one is grounded at first base, booted a little bit, recovered, And he is safe. We'll see how they rule that one, as the first baseman for the Fisher Cats, Vito Cheravolati, had a little trouble with that one. So the Rockcats in business with runners at the corner and nobody down.
Just a routine ground ball to the opposite of Cheravolati's glove hand. He tried to cross over, but ball took a bad hop in the infield and caught him up on the heel of the glove, maybe the forearm, and it got away from him.
So the original plan for you guys was the ballpark, some very nice retail shops, a hotel, which I can see is under construction.
It'll be open in January.
And some condominiums. Is everything back on track?
Everything is on track. The hotel, the foundation is in, and it'll be up in January, fully running, or about 120-room Hilton Garden Hotel.
Hilton Garden Inn, right? Which is a great hotel. It's where I stayed at in the Super Bowl.
And Eric Chinberg is breaking ground for the condominiums in April, and some of those should be opening in fall sometime. The river has been reclaimed by the city of Manchester.
Fly ball to second base. That's a big out for Ogletree right there. Keep that runner on third base. He gets his first out of the top of the 8th inning. Let's go down to Nauko now and see what special guest she has.
My special guest is Fungo. I specifically sought him out because it is getting a little chilly here, and he's got all this fur, so I thought maybe if I cuddle up right next to him, it might make me a little warmer. I don't know which camera has us, but Fungo, can you wave to the camera? Now, Fungo doesn't talk, but let's try and get the idea. What exactly is a Fisher Cat? That was a thrilling description of what a Fisher Cat is, but I think we got it. It's you, basically. It's you. All right. We're just kind of having a little fun here. Jamie and Jason, back up to you guys.
All right. Thanks very much, Nauko. And that Fisher Cat can do some good hunting after the game, because there was a raccoon hanging around last night and then a possum early this morning that we showed you pictures of. So I think the Fisher Cat, Fungo, is going to like his new home there. He's got a lot of things to hunt down.
Oh, yeah. I think he's going to enjoy the park very much, Jamie.
Yeah. Feast for sure. It's an 0-2 count on Gil Velasquez, and he hits one into the gap in right center, but that is tracked down. No problem. That will get a run. Throw to the plate. Close play, and they got him. Oh, what a throw from right field. You are out of there. Michael Hova guns down Alex Romero at the plate, and it's a double play, and the Fisher Cats are out of the inning. So we go to the break. We'll check this one out. This was quite a nice throw by the Fisher Cats right fielder to gun him down. A good play by the catcher Jose Umbria to get the tag down. They escape without New Britain scoring. 5-1. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Welcome back to Fisher Cats Ballpark. 5-1 Rockcats, but a little momentum maybe for the New Hampshire Fisher Cats as they get a double play to end the top of the 8th inning. A beautiful play by the Fisher Cats right fielder Michael Hova, gunning down a runner at third base. We'll see if they can keep a little of that momentum. And we're talking with Manchester Mayor Bob Baines. And boy, the landscape of the city has changed since you were principal over at Manchester West High School. Huh?
Boy, is that the truth. I remember when we opened Singer Park down here, and I was going to soccer games for West High School and having state tournaments here, so it's a big change. And I will tell you, the Singer family, they're the most amazed. I came down with them several weeks ago, and they just couldn't believe the transformation of this parcel of land.
Kevin Cameron, still the Rockcats pitcher. Speaking of the Singers and Singer Park, is there a plan? Obviously, that's where this baseball field used to.
Right.
It now sits on where Singer Park used to be. Any idea if we'll get another soccer field?
Yes, we're constructing a new soccer field up at Derryfield Park, and actually Drew Weber has contributed to that park as well as giving money $1 million for Gill Stadium. So Drew Weber has been absolutely fantastic for the city of Manchester.
He's been huge. Yeah. And the city bought some land continuing down the river towards the 293 bridge there. Any idea what you might do with that? The Jack Pack land, is that what you call it?
It's 17 acres on the river. We purchased it for $3 million. It was assessed at over 7, and that's going to be part of our downtown master plan to see what we can bring in there for good jobs and to expand the tax base.
And a swing and a miss for the Fisher Cats. I think we had a pinch hitter there. No, that was Carlo Cotto was up, and that's continues a rough night for him as he's now struck out 3 times in the game. So you're not quite sure what you'll do with it, but it's a good problem to have.
Well,
You
yeah,
can
it's
be
a
creative.
6-month study, and there should be an announcement of what the consultants have determined and give us some ideas of what they feel is the best use of that property.
Amazing. This wow.
Well,
there's Michael Hova, who just threw the runner out from right field, takes one to the warning track in right center field, but it's just a long fly ball to center, and it's an out, and the Fisher Cats down to their last 4 outs here, 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th.
And by the way, almost all the employees who used to work at Jack Pack are in new jobs and better paying jobs because of the retraining that took place after the closure. So that's why Tyson, they also cooperated with us to get that for a reasonable price for the city to sort of make amends a little bit for closing that plant.
Here comes Kevin Barker, now designated hitter with 2 outs. Well, I already know the answer to this because I asked you a few days ago about your baseball history. Nothing formal, just some playground stuff. Right, Mayor?
Oh, yeah, I played in Bakersville. We used to go that's been the days, you know, that there wasn't any much TV going on. We'd go to Bakersville every morning and we'd play baseball from morning till night. That's the way we played baseball in those days, and I never played Little League or any other organized baseball. That's when baseball was fun for kids.
yeah, Kevin Barker with a soft line out to third base, and that ends the bottom of the 8th inning as the Fisher Cats go quietly. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very
Mr.
much.
Matt.
Again, thanks for Channel 9 for the great coverage of Fisher Cats baseball.
Thanks, Mayor.
We'll see you at the Wolves game tomorrow. Thanks. 5-1, Rock Cats over our Fisher Cats. And the Lovering Volvo scoreboard, New Britain Rock Cats out-slugging New Hampshire 9-2, and as far as hits, and it is 5-1, New Britain. We have a new pitcher on for the New Hampshire Fisher Cats.
4th pitcher of the night.
I have the 5th pitcher on.
5th? Did I miss one?
No. Matos, Josu Matus is on. So Matus will face the top of the order for the Rock Cats, and that's James Tomlin, who's been up 4 times. Does have 1 single. He's 1 for 4 with a single and a strikeout.
Oh, of course, the 5th. I'm leaving out the starting pitcher, Ramirez.
If you look at the scoreboard, it says we're holding steady at 50 degrees. It's been 50 for a long time.
Well, about 20 minutes or so. It's at 48, so.
Feel the temperature rising. James Tomlin, center fielder for the Rock Cats. And that one gets away. Make the count 1-1.
Fisher Cats only 1 error tonight, and that was Shervalati's error down at first base.
3 errors for the Rock Cats. That's really the only thing you can point to is where they've struggled tonight is a little bit of the infield defense. And again, you know, that's probably a reflection of the fact that the Rock Cats didn't get to practice on this field. They came in and played a game cold without ever really getting a sense of what the field's like, just a quick infield. Matos, tie the shoes. The Nashua Pride had a catcher last year with the last name Matos, if I remember correctly.
I think you're right.
So this is James Tomlin leading off the top of the 9th inning. Fouled away, 2-2 count.
Well, we certainly lucked out with the weather.
Yes.
Earlier in the week, we were concerned about possible rain tonight, but as Thursday night got closer and closer, our meteorologists assured us that we would get the game in. So
the 2-2 pitch grounded right back to Matos. He stabs it and throws on to first base for the first out of the inning. I want to show you some pictures of one of the. This is us. This is a huge night in Manchester baseball history. I want to show you some pictures of another huge night back in 1913 at Textile Field, which ultimately became Gill Stadium. The first ever game on September 8th was the Boston Red Sox, World Series champions in 1913, playing a team of Manchester All-Stars, and that's how they opened up that baseball field in 1913, which is now Gill Stadium. I guess you would have to say that's the biggest night in Manchester baseball history, because the World Series champion Red Sox came and played at a brand new stadium, which at the time was equally impressive as this stadium. And they played Manchester ball players.
Yeah.
But they're both,
I guess you could
huge
make
nights.
that argument.
They're both huge nights, and they're, what, 92 years apart. Isn't that amazing?
And ironically, the Eastern League champions are opening up this ballpark this year.
It's a 2-1 count, 2-1 count to Luis Mazza. The second baseman for the Rockcats has a triple and an RBI in tonight's game. Swing and a miss there, evens up the count at 2-2. He's been retired the other times he's been up, once on a grounder and twice on fly balls. We're in the top of the ninth inning. The New Britain Rockcats trying to spoil the home and stadium opening game for the New Hampshire Fisher Cats in 2005, fouled straight back. Still 2-2. I think everything went pretty smoothly tonight. There was some backups on the highway, we understand. 6,500 people trying to get to the ballpark at the same time. There were a few backups of the line getting into the stadium was quite long, I understand, and that's a strike 3 looking.
Well, not to mention there is a Brooks and Dunn concert up the street at the Verizon Wireless Arena,
right.
So you have to tie that into the traffic troubles as well.
That's another 7,000 people that are at the Verizon Arena tonight. And again, this is the first game in this new ballpark, so there's going to be a few kinks to work out, and the crowd all year will certainly never be any bigger than this. So I'm sure that the Fisher Cat staff will get everything ironed out.
And like you say, it's the first night, so people coming to the ballpark for the first time, they want to get here early. They want everyone pretty much showing up at the same time, trying to scope the place out. And as the season goes on, people will find their favorite parking spots, and they'll probably scatter as far as parking goes around the surrounding areas. They certainly won't all show up at the same time either.
83-mile-per-hour pitch there from Matos is a ball. 2-0 against the catcher from Gabby Torres. 2-0 count. Torres with a walk and a single in the game. Let's check in again with Naoko Funayama in the stands. Naoko?
Hey guys, I'm here with a fan from Hooksett, a diehard fan who says he comes to every single Friday night game. You made the special trip here tonight. What do you think?
Great. It's been a good game tonight. I'm losing, but next time we'll win them. We'll beat them next time.
You witnessed them win the Eastern League Championship at Gill Stadium, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll hopefully win it again this year.
Definitely. You're kind of surviving the Thursday night chill here.
Yeah, very cold. It warms up tomorrow night for tomorrow night's game.
And you're going to be back here tomorrow night?
We're here tomorrow night, my son and I, yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. Back up to you guys.
All right, Naoko, thanks, and thanks for all your hard work tonight during the game, roaming around in the stands. And there's a swing and a miss from Gabby Torres, and it's a full count on the Rockcats catcher.
Nice pitch, good location, gets it high up in the strike zone, and a lot of batters will try to chase that high strike. It's tough to get the bat on it.
Fly ball to right field. That's headed in the direction of Hova. And Michael Hova hauls it in. That does it for the Rockcats in the top of the ninth inning. They go in order. A good inning of pitching for Josu Matos. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Last chance for the Fisher Cats. They trail 5-1. 5-1 New Britain. It's been all Rockcats here in the season opener on the Lovering Volvo scoreboard. New Hampshire just 2 hits in the baseball game. I'm sure not what they were hoping for coming into this one, Jason.
And one of them was an infield hit that could have gone either way. It could have been ruled an error on the third baseman, but with the slow roller down towards third base, they gave him the benefit of the doubt, and it was a base hit for, I believe it was Michael Hova.
Ron Acuna is up to lead off the bottom of the ninth. He has one of the 2 hits, a swing and a miss there, and he's quickly in the hole. 0-2. Michael Hova has the other hit for the Fisher Cats.
Pitching really a big story for both teams tonight. Just take another look at the cut, kind of jammed them.
Kevin Kevin Cameron still on in relief for the Rockcats, and he picks up a strikeout.
Only 2 pitchers for the Rockcats tonight. A great performance by Francisco Liriano, and now Kevin Cameron. And Liriano had a no-hitter going through, what, 6 innings?
Into the 6th, I think. First hit for the Fisher Cats was Hova in the 6th inning. And that came with 1 out. So he made it through 16 outs before he gave up a hit. First pitch in for a strike to Rob Cosby. The third baseman has struck out, grounded to shortstop, and grounded out to the pitcher. So he's 0 for 3, looking to get his first hit of the season here. Fisher Cats and Rockcats right back here again tomorrow night at 6:35, and then a couple of weekend games at 1 o'clock. And there it is. There's a hit as Cosby dumps one in front of Rockcat center fielder James Tomlin for a base hit. Third of the game for the Fisher Cats. And looking to keep it going will be Jose Umbria, the catcher.
A little bit of noise from this crowd here. A lot of people kind of scattered throughout the evening, but still a good crowd on hand.
There was a young crowd, a lot of kids here, and might have gone home early. Possible double play ball. There's 1, and there's 2, and that is how this ball game ends on a 6-4. Was it 5-4-3 or 6-4-3? Who started that? The third or the second baseman? Either way, it's a double play for the Rockcats, and that's how this game ends. A 5-1 victory for the New Britain Rockcats over the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. There it is on the Lovering Volvo scoreboard. 5-1 New Britain. We'll be back to wrap it up. Back and forth with you. And welcome back. New Britain 5-1 over New Hampshire. Get a few closing thoughts here. We'll do our play of the game as well. It's always fun when you do the first game at a new facility. It's a whole night of firsts. You're not sure what to expect. A lot of pageantry before the game. And all in all, it was a great night, except for that final score, Jason.
Yeah, and here's what started it all. The Progressive Insurance play of the game. This is the 3rd inning, and it's Tommy Watkins, the third baseman for the Rockcats, takes one high and deep, I think over the picnic area on the left field wall. Area? I think from the replay it looked like it did, but that was the first run of the ball game. It was a 3-run inning for the Rockcats, and that just got them started. And they went on to the 5-1 win. Again, that's your Progressive Insurance play of the game.
Has a little Carl Everett in him, the way he was running around the bases there, and really nice personality. I mean, he was fun to talk to before the game, and he was booting a few in the infield warm-ups, and we were talking to him about it, and he was laughing like, I got to field those. And then he comes in the game and makes 2 errors, but he made up for it with the first hit and first home run all at the same time in the history of Fisher Cats Ballpark. And a couple of Red Sox fans there, not too downtrodden about tonight's loss.
No, I think win or lose, I'm not really sure anyone came into this ball game really caring who won or lost the game. Albeit everyone wants to see the Fisher Cats win, but it's just a great night of baseball. The opening of the park was really the main attraction.
I thought Nowco was the main attraction.
Oh, really? Well, let's
cut down to her right now.
Sure.
No, I was not the main attraction. But certainly I think, Jason, you hit the nail on the head. Really, the fans weren't disappointed that the Fisher Cats lost. I'm sorry, I'm kind of stumbling here. I'm a little cold. I don't think it's 50 degrees, by the way, on that board. But the main attraction definitely was the stadium. A lot of people were so excited to just be able to see this new stadium, to experience the first night of baseball in the new stadium. And I think a lot of people had a really good time. It seemed like that was the consensus around here.
Nowco, I'm a New England native. I'm going to give you a tip on how to keep warm, okay? Button up your jacket.
Yeah, I think so. And bring a scarf, bring an extra layer. Didn't quite think about that.
So,
It must be the Southerner in me.
Looked like the fans that you talked to had a great night, though.
They certainly did.
Go get those wood stacking gloves back from Ryan Murphy.
I will. You guys had me take them off for this shot.
Yeah. All right, Naoko, thanks very much for all your hard work and for staying cold all night long. We really do appreciate everything.
Thanks, guys.
So that's Naoko Funayama, and she'll be doing our halftime report of tomorrow night's football game. Speaking of which, tomorrow, catch another season-opening game here on WMUR TV. The Manchester Wolves, Arena 2 football team, they kick off their new season from the Verizon Wireless Arena at 7:30. They go up against the Florida Firecats, who are the defending league champions. That's Arena 2 football action right here on WMUR at 7:30. An interesting game, Jason, because the coach Ben Bennett going against his former team.
Yeah, his team that won the Arena Cup last year down in Florida for Ben Bennett. He's here now, the new head coach of the Wolves, so it'll be interesting to see how those two teams play out. As we just saw some of the fans filing out through the concourse area here at the new Fisher Cats ballpark, 7,065 strong on hand tonight. It's a 6,500 capacity ballpark, so they had it packed to the gill tonight. People in the concourse area all night long, and really, you know, if you look around, the stands were full, but the concourse area was packed as well. It was like a social gathering.
This was really quite a night, and we have a lot of people to thank from Channel 9 who have been out here starting yesterday and then very early this morning with eight cameras or so all over the ballpark. That's a lot of cable to pull, working against the clock to get this ready to go. We did our live news out here. Bob Walker, the engineer, really masterminded the whole thing, and Jim Breen, our chief photographer, our director, Michelle Schlickman, our technical director, Pete McKay, Dave Holbrook was our producer, and all of the photographers, who many of whom were in working a news shift early today, like Chris McDevitt and Ryan Murphy and Scott Hazard, and on and on. We really, Daniel, we want to thank all of the photographers involved in tonight's game as well.
Let's talk a little bit about the difference in tonight's ball game.
Dan Sheldon on audio. He makes us sound good.
What about Sarah?
Yes, and Sarah as well. Sarah Cunningham. I'm not sure what her title in this game was.
I'm not sure if she did anything, but she was here.
With Dan Holt, yes.
Let's talk about the difference in the ball game, and really, I think it was the pitching staff with a great performance both from Francisco Lariano for the Rockcats. He pitched 6 innings, allowed 1 earned run on 1 hit, and then on the flip side, it was Ishmael Ramirez making his first start ever in a Fisher Cats uniform, and he went 4 2/3, and he gave up 5 on 6 hits, and the Rockcats really had 2 solid pitchers that took control.
Well, the Fisher Cats do a player of the game after the game, and they gave it to Tommy Watkins, who hit that home run for the Rockcats. But I think it may just have been because Francisco Loriano was probably already in the shower and changed. What an unbelievable night for him. 6 innings before he gave up a hit.
Yeah, it really was. He had command of the strike zone all night long. He was pitching on the corners, and he was throwing some heat.
What a night for him, and there's a long way to go. These teams will play 3 more games tomorrow, starting at 6:35, then on the weekend at 1 o'clock. There's 141 games left to go in the season. Please try to come out and see this beautiful ballpark because it is something special, and the ticket prices start at just $4. Hot dogs for $2. You can bring your family, you can afford a meal, and we promise you will enjoy this ballpark. It is something special.
And we'll see you again tomorrow night, but from the Verizon.
We'll have the Wolves game live for you tomorrow night if our voices are still holding out tomorrow. So for Jason King, Naoko Funayama, and the entire family of WMUR TV broadcasters who brought this game to you and who worked so hard over the last few days and weeks to make this happen, we want to thank you very much. And we leave you with the first hit in Fisher Cats stadium history, and it was this one right here. We thank you for watching. It's a 5-1 Rockcats victory over the Fisher Cats.